We are rolling.
What kind of personal judgments would you guys feel comfortable making based on how someone prepares their food?
Oh, it would have to be really fucking weird. None? Usually. Yeah, like, I mean, let people cook how they want to cook, but I feel like you're asking for a reason.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, and it's because I'm far enough away from it, when you can, like, especially when you live in an apartment complex, when you smell other people's cooking from the hall and it smells awful and you're just like, nope.
I don't know if I've ever had that. How bad was it?
Just like someone was just making the most Irish fucking stew, but like not even like the homely kind, just the like awful Irish college kind.
I don't respect stew at all.
That's bullshit.
I absolutely... Niamh, let's be real. It's meat and water.
It is.
Yeah, but sometimes a lot of love goes into that meat and water. And peas. Maybe peas are in there.
The peas are alright, I guess. But you know how people will be like, what's your favourite Irish dish? And you're like,
yes.
Cadbury's chocolate.
Yeah, all our like meals, like traditional meals, are born out of poverty.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, keep something in the dirt for 10 hours and then boil it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
it's
nothing.
cursed.
Not a part of our nation I think I'm super proud of. No. I remember when I was a kid, I was over at my friend's house and it was like his dinner time. So his mom brought him in like a plate of potatoes and a plate of tuna.
Oh.
And then he scooped the tuna into the potatoes and then like started mixing it around, but like really mixing it, like liquefying it.
Why did he have them separate at all?
Then he got a bottle of ketchup and he poured so much fucking ketchup into this. Like, it was just... And by the end of it, he had this red slime and he just ate it all. And I remember, like... You know when you fuck up with, like, a social link in Persona and you go, like, down a grade or the card flips over? That's what he did to me. I was like, I don't want to be around this person anymore.
Yeah, like if that is your ick that you want to yum, do that privately. Have shame.
Yeah. It's like you know the way insects like vomit on their food and liquefy it and eat.
Yeah,
like
they
I
do.
watched a human do that.
I guess in a
Yeah,
way it was a
'cause-
deconstructed baked potato with tuna, which isn't so weird. Like that isn't the craziest thing, except the turning it to paste part.
When you say deconstructed, I feel like it nearly went so low that it's now like there's a chef in France somewhere who's like done this and it's his like specialty dish. Like it's so bad that it punched through the bottom of the quality hole and is now at the top.
I know, but this has some sinister method to it.
Yeah, and you know he was a dirty little boy. So stuff like that. Also, how people cook their steak. I don't know if we talked about this before. I'll make very serious judgments depending on how someone cooks their steak.
He likes his steaks very, very bloody. I like my steaks incinerated on the outside, but then in the middle, fucking raw.
There you go. That's absolutely perfect. Niamh?
Yeah, probably medium raw. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm kind of okay with most things, but if I'm at a restaurant and I see someone ask for a steak well done, in my head I'll be like, that person's fucking weak.
The chefs fucking hate when you ask for well done because it ruins the like flow of the arrival times of all the food.
I think guys who were obsessed with how people have their steak done are weird. It's like a personality trait that people like to throw out there.
You can just say you're weird.
Yeah, you guys are weird, but it's not just you. It's just guys.
It's not just guys. I've met so many girls who think this way as well.
Okay, but this is like just such a received thing that people have an issue with. Like, oh man, they get his steak is like well done. Who gives a shit?
I
give a shit, Niamh, because you're taking
Why
a
is that a
perfectly good
judgment
piece
to
of
make?
meat and you're ruining it. And there's no, like, it could be the best piece of meat in the fucking world. And I am passionate about steaks. I cook several steaks a week. Doesn't matter why.
Several a week?
Look, okay, we're not getting into it. And
He's a growing boy.
And it's just, there is an art form to it that you want to see respected, okay? A moment ago, we just talked about my friend from being little, making his little red slime. And I feel like it was okay to judge someone for that, but not this. It's the same fucking thing, Niamh.
I don't know.
Niamh, are you being sexist?
I just
my
think
God.
I just don't think it's a personality to be like judging people's steak, which a lot
I
of people
think it's
do.
completely normal to attach your personal beliefs to how someone makes their...
100%.
I think it's
100%.
okay. I think it's completely
Niamh, I
cool
don't think
to define
it's a
yourself by getting
personal-
angry at food.
I don't think it's a personality trait not to get angry at this stuff. Niamh, what else do you hate about the way other people eat?
I don't.
Niamh, what do you
Come on, Niamh, it's just the three of us. Let's just fucking rap here.
The mics are off. I've turned it off.
The mics are off. We're not recording any of this. Go.
I got nothing. I don't mind how people eat. Do what you got to do.
Do you like people who like eat loudly or chew loudly?
I mean, I'm not around them that often now that we're all indoors. I used to have so many weird eating things as a kid, so I just feel like I can't judge.
What changed you?
I realized that most people cook food with the intention of making it nice, and you should just try things because they probably will be nice. Like if someone, like very few people are like, I made this to taste like shit.
I used to be such a picky eater when I was little, and then I went to the Gaeltacht, and I remember like the first night being at the Gaeltacht, and I got a plate and it had carrots and peas on it, and I was like, well, the dream's over. I'm gonna have to become a real person.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to eat what's in front of you because you don't know the Irish for it, and it's smalum.
I'm not sure
bullshit.
I ate much the first night, but let me tell you, by that second night, I had run out of options. Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. The world's strongest video game podcast. To my right, the master of meals, the prince of pasta, the sultan of spaghetti. It's Niamh.
Yeah. I was going to be like, buongiorno.
You're gonna do like a hand gesture. Okay. So here it's like a little hand emote, just being like,
I wish
Passione.
I wish people could have seen that because I watched an idea formulate, kind of
Die.
reach maturity and die on Niamh's face. It was fantastic. To my left, the emperor of eclairs, the ruler of ravioli, I'm gonna go for one more. President of profiteroles rolls. It's Bryan.
I am cream filled.
Whoa. And with you always, it's your host, John.
You're not gonna go for a cool gimmick.
No, I'm done with gimmicks. I'm done with trickery. I'm done with just being mean. I've been thinking like, what?
So John is no longer acting the bollocks. Do you hear that, ever? It's official. We have one less bollock on the podcast.
Just
Sorry,
two
John.
now, the regular amount.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like how I'm going to change this podcast, and I know I teased a big announcement last time. Here it is. This is a positive podcast from now on.
Oh.
We love hating on shit, though.
Yeah, you just open this with pure judgment. You can't go back.
Well, why do you think I opened it and I got it all out? Like for the last,
I really think you've like spurred on the energy now.
How long have we been doing this? 5 years?
100 years.
100 years. For the last 100 years, this whole podcast has just been a way for me to get out everything that bothers me. And the steak shit from like 5 minutes ago, that was the last thing. I am nothing but positivity and light now.
So from now on, you're never going to say a negative thing.
Not even one. Not even one.
Okay.
Can I jump off that for a second?
Hit me.
So I did an informal poll on our Let's Fight a Boss Twitter where I asked people to settle a friendly argument. What TV show is better? And out of 435 votes, Schitt's Creek got 42% and The Good Place got 58%. That's 435 votes. That's nearly 10,000 people. And they all picked The Good Place.
You know, I'd believe that because our audience are fucking idiots. So that totally tracks to me. Like, if you ask me what percent of our audience is like good, I'd be like, about 42%.
You could say that about anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go on, John. Walk your way back out of this one.
I don't think I can. Oh,
We're not sorry.
no, I never am.
Never was.
I can remember I used to feel sorry about things once. It's gone now. It's just dead.
Do you feel sorry for the people who have to listen to this podcast?
Yeah, because they're at a point in their lives where this is what they think is a good way to spend time. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. That was a terrible thing to say. I don't believe that. And like, our audience, they're so nice to me. They're so nice whenever I'm at a con.
Yeah, why the fuck they like? You're awful.
I'm complicated.
You're really not.
Okay, hey, look. This is a positive podcast.
It's a positive podcast.
It's a positive podcast. Niamh, I feel like you tried to derail it there a little bit.
Yeah, just checking, just to see.
I forgive you. Okay, that's we've come. Guys, I watched The Dead Center.
I watched it too.
I think I've seen this.
Yeah,
it's about a therapist and a guy who's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
it's a short-term. I guess not a mental asylum or an insane asylum, but it's like for people who are in a manic phase.
It's people who get sectioned. It's a mental hospital for
people
short-term
in,
stays.
Yeah.
Real bad, like having a psychological episode need to be maintained for a little bit.
Yeah. And this is a 2018 very low budget kind of horror film.
Yeah. Really seems like it's going to become a zombie movie at any second for the first like 40 minutes.
Because you've got your patient zero right there.
Yeah, and patient comes in, acting all weird, something not right, and I like how as the film progressed, it just didn't turn into that. Because when I started watching it, I was like, oh geez, oh no, I need another zombie movie, you know. But I ended up really enjoying it. Like, I thought it was really well made. I thought like it was reasonably tense throughout, and like the camera work and stuff was nice, and I liked where it went. And the thing it is, I don't even know if we want to say because that's kind of part of the fun of it. But I liked that. What do you guys think of it?
I thought it was like well acted. Like I was never bored, but it was one of those ones that really pathologize certain mental illnesses. Like the shtick is this guy shows up and they don't know where he's come from, and he kind of gets sectioned based on one guy pushing it forward kind of behind the backs of other people because he kind of wants to figure out what's going on with him. But the only mental illness they kind of name is bipolar, and then by the end of this, you know, it's something else more supernatural or whatever, but by the end of it, all it is on the outside is kind of this idea that was this guy bipolar, and then like, you know, brutality ensues, and there's a lot of, you know,
it's not really a film like about anything.
Well, it is. It's about like sectioning someone for a mental illness, but that mental illness is more than it seems.
Well, like I guess what I mean is like that's true, but I guess it doesn't really say anything. Like it doesn't use that stuff to say anything.
Yeah, but it doesn't say.
Like I'm not defending the film.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I found it entertaining, but I kind of was like, oh, this is another one to put in Split, like in the same category as Split, where it kind of doesn't really. It uses mental illness as a crutch to tell some kind of story, but kind of in the end, all it is kind of demonizing mental illness still kind of thing.
I think it's one step removed from Split, because Split was like...
Split is schlock.
Split was like, he's Split person. Like it was... Yeah. But what do you think about it, Bryan?
I thought it was okay. The main actor in it was very stiff, but I think that's just the way he acts. It's that dude, Shane Carruth, who directed Primer and Upstream Color, who has since kind of become a very unusual person and is sort of blacklisted from films, and I don't think will ever be making a film or be involved.
Why?
He was in a long-term relationship with another director, Amy Semetz, who's also in Upstream Color, and she went on to direct a TV show called The Girlfriend Experience. That's really good. But she had to put a restraining order on him, and it just seemed like whenever he so he has problems in his personal life, but it also just seemed like in his professional life, whenever he was doing like the indie movie scene, he was very anti-Hollywood, but then became anti-indie movie as well, and just seemed to be a difficult person in every aspect.
Okay.
So it's a weird movie
This is the actor, the main guy.
Yeah, who's also a director and a music composer.
Huh.
But the guy who's the patient, I thought was fantastic.
He was really frightening.
Yeah,
I thought
so-
like he's a real big, large frame.
He's a very big man. He plays Jody in the live-action Preacher TV series.
What?
Yeah. I think in season 3 is when they go to back to Preacher's grandmother's
That's
home.
perfect.
Yeah, and so like he's so well cast as this kind of
he's
like,
really imposing.
and like he's really good at looking vacant as well.
Yeah.
So I thought his performance was really, really good, and I do like films that are about a virus, but it's not a medical virus. And there's, different kind of versions of interpreting a virus. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Bits of it kind of reminded me of like an exorcism where I guess people who were denounced as having a demon were kind of taken advantage of by medical specialists. So what Niamh was talking about, it kind of made me think about that, which I thought was kind of interesting, but it didn't elaborate on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the film was fine.
Yeah, like it was pretty cool. Like I had a good time watching it, but I watched it like a week ago, and when I saw it in my show notes, I did have to be like, "What was that again?"
Yeah,
It's not boring. It's not a boring
no.
watch, but I don't. I
yeah.
also like. I won't put it on any need to watch horror lists anytime soon.
Me neither. For me, it's like it was a decent way to kill an hour and a half.
yeah. It's a film you've probably missed. That's it.
Yeah, Brian. I'm going to correct you here. You've misspelled it in the document. You watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
No, I watched
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Talking of
becomes an
independent
investment
films,
banker.
I watched a film called The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Oh, I've seen this too.
Yes, this is a werewolf movie, a low-budget werewolf movie that I think was shown in Sundance about a year ago. And it's from the guy who starred and wrote Thunder Road, which I really enjoyed.
Jim Cummings,
yeah. And this is another film in which he writes, directs, and stars in, but the cast is much bigger. It's the last film starring Robert Forster, who was the vacuum sales guy in Breaking Bad and in Better Call Saul and all that. Because I think he passed away in 2019.
who was he in this movie?
He was the sheriff.
Oh, that's sad because he dies in the movie.
Yeah, he does. Apparently, he filmed the scenes and then a week later died or something like that.
Wow.
Shit.
Like,
yeah, and the whole movie is about how he's dying and he's on his way out.
Yeah, but like apparently, and so he passed away from a brain tumor, but he didn't know he had a brain tumor, or if he did, he kept it secret, and he still kept acting all the way up until he couldn't.
God.
And like he is really good in it. Like it seems like I'd say he's only in the movie for like 5 or 10 minutes, but but yeah, so it's about a small town in America called Snow Hollow, and it's a very snowy town, and I think it's like December, is it January? It's around Christmas time anyway, so it's super dark, and it's the lead up, or I guess it's the lead up to Christmas because it happens every full moon. Because what's happened is that a werewolf is terrorizing the town, and there aren't that many good werewolf movies, and the ones off the top of my head that I think I like are Ginger Snaps is brilliant.
Yeah, and Dog Soldiers. I haven't seen that in years, but
Dog
that was
Soldiers
good
is cool
from when I remember it.
Yeah, but I just think when you think of werewolf movies, you're like, and it's kind of hard to pick.
I always feel like it's like there should be a classical werewolf movie because there's classical, like, all the other big monsters.
The only one I could think of is American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that's the one I go to as well. But whatever it was, it never got that. Twilight 2. There you go.
Yeah,
Mentioning of Twilight, it opens up with Emmett from Twilight, who is one of the vampires, going to this town for a vacation with his girlfriend.
No, that's not. It's the guy from Modern Family and the guy from.
No, it's Emmett from the vampire movie. It's Emmett from Twilight.
No, it's the guy from that movie that stupid Netflix show about the guy who draws the dicks. What's that thing called?
Oh.
American
Are they
Vandal.
different people?
They're different guys. Yeah, it's the guy from American Vandal with the like extremely deep voice that he's kind of hard to understand, but they are of a similar physique.
Oh my god, they are of a similar little face and everything.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
like, isn't it ironic how the vampire boy is now being chased by wolves? But I guess it wasn't ironic at all.
He could be a vampire. We don't know.
Okay, well, fuck me.
I'm so sorry, Niamh. With my bullshit IMDb trivia fucking brain. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think with werewolf movies, there's an opportunity to do a kind of like a whodunit, in that with werewolves, it's always interesting to have a small town. The deaths will only ever occur in a full moon, and werewolves are essentially invincible unless you have silver bullets. And the thing is, sometimes the person who's a werewolf is aware that they can transform to a werewolf. Sometimes they're completely unaware at all, and so they're not as responsible for their actions as you think they are. Mm-hmm. And so this film definitely kind of leans into the mystery.
It's a lot of red herrings.
Yeah, there's so many red herrings, and the main character it's Jim Cummings. He's playing a cop again, and he's playing an alcoholic cop who really shouldn't be a cop. And they kind of make that a point with a lot of the cop characters in this movie about how incompetent they are.
It's weird because that's my issue with the movie, is this felt like great as a character setup, and there was all these kind of ways where it could be going. Like, a lot of the cops are super incompetent, and this guy is such an angry alcoholic, and he's clearly bringing that to the job and attacking just random people on the job. And there's this lady cop who's always looking at him being like, oh, he's gone off his rocker again.
Just for future reference, we just call them cops.
Okay, well, there's another cop, a lady cop.
Sorry, woman cop.
Either way, she keeps looking at this guy.
We just want to take a moment and just apologize.
John, I'll kill you.
We're not apologizing to any cops. Fuck them.
But she's always looking at him, and you're kind of thinking, okay, she's going to pull him up on his bullshit eventually. Someone's going to step in and stop this guy from, like, being an abusive weirdo and you throwing around his power. But that never happens. Like, that never comes to be. Also, the werewolf in this is attacking women and lone women, and then there's a lot in the movie about, like, male anger and, like, him going to, like, you know, kind of self-help groups and trying to get his anger under control, and is like, oh, is this kind of a conversation about like toxic masculinity and kind of like aggression against women? That goes nowhere either.
Nothing.
So it's like it throws out all these interesting things that it could say, and then it's just like, they're actually all red herrings and we've nothing to say. Yeah, because
you know the way it'll show stuff in the kitchen and it keeps like panning in on like the upper shelf where he keeps his alcohol, and it's about like destructive addiction as well.
Sometimes with stuff like that, I'm always like, was this meant to be a different film up until the 11th hour and then some executive won an argument?
It's weird because the guy, Jim Cummings, who's written it and directed it, he's brilliant, like a really brilliant actor in it.
Yeah.
And I think its obsession with him as the main character means he couldn't be bad.
Right.
Like you kind of think it's going to go somewhere with him maybe being the werewolf or being something else involved in it, but it just kind of like never lets itself go that far. And then he's this dickhead, he's abusive, he's an abusive cop, he's an alcoholic, he's yelling at his daughter, he's saying weird shit to her. It doesn't matter. He's still the hero.
Yeah, like it's a really good film with a very bad climax.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because like there's to me there was a point in the film where about an hour in I was like, this is fucking going somewhere. And unfortunately what you imagine the film is going to be, it isn't. And like the explanation is fine and you're like, okay, cool. And I did really, and like the film is fairly low budget and it has a werewolf in it and the werewolf looks great. He's always filmed from like far away, but the costume for the actual werewolf is so good. Like it's so convincing. And I thought that stuff was really impressive.
I really like that sometimes when it's like you're always catching like glances.
Yeah. But like the film really, really wants to misdirect you and introduces you with so many characters and tries to kind of like outsmart you, but the like solution to its puzzle isn't satisfying.
No, it becomes like less satisfying because all the misdirection it showed out there was kind of more interesting in a way.
Yeah, it was.
And that sucks because it has such a strong cast and just a really strong visual setting, and the wolf look cool. And
the film has like jokes in it as well. Like it's got a sense of humor where it's kind of like offbeat, like Twin Peaks or something, where like characters kind of talk in a stilted way, but they kind of have a charm to them. And that really works. And like it has these really weird moments where like the main character, Jim Cummings, is just in the kitchen and one of his, like, he's just like touching his mouth and one of his tooth falls out. Like it. And you're just kind of like, what the fuck is that? And for a while you think it's a clue, but I think it's just like a weird joke.
It kind of sounds like you two would still say this is worth watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know, like I really enjoyed it. I was just kind of disappointed by the end. I thought I was going to have more to it.
When I was writing my 3-star review on Letterboxd, I realized I had gotten a 5-star review from Jim Cummings himself. And I was just like,
fantastic.
Great, Jim.
Believe in yourself, Jim.
I really like Jim Cummings. I really want to see what he wants, what he makes next. But maybe share the scene.
Maybe get someone else to write it, or at least co-write it.
Who's the film guy who spends like, I think it's Uwe Boll he does a lot of Letterboxd reviews, and he gives everything 1 star except
he does,
for the Chronicles of Riddick, which I think he gave 5 stars.
It's a good film.
Yeah, no argument.
It's better than Pitch Black. No, I think Pitch Black's the best one.
They've both aged badly.
I like Butcher Bay, the Xbox game.
That's a really good looking game.
It's a weirdly good looking game.
Yeah, it's got a really good torch.
And it's got really good like first person hand to hand combat, which you don't see a lot of that.
There are 3 Riddick movies, aren't there? There's Pitch Black, there's Chronicles of Riddick, and then there was one that came out like less than 10 years ago.
I don't think so. Was there?
Yeah, it came out in between some of the Fast and the Furious films. Like Vin Diesel snuck out another Riddick movie.
Really?
And
fair play to him.
Yeah, and I guarantee there's a 3rd Riddick movie. There has to be. Niamh's going to check it out.
Niamh's a big Vin Diesel fan.
I am, but I'm not watching that. I'm not watching his shit. Yeah, you're right. It was 2013.
What's it called?
Yeah, in the last 10 years.
It's called Riddick.
Yeah, I knew it.
I remember that.
I fucking knew there was a 3rd Riddick movie.
Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick. And now they're doing seemingly Riddick 4 Furia.
Sure.
Oh.
Guys, Riddick, you can't see unless it's dark, and then he's like impossible. That's his gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking Chronicles a gimmick, am I right?
But he has his sunglasses that he can see in the light.
He really didn't help with the whole steampunk thing, did he? Like with the goggles?
No, I guess not.
I think we should all get into goggles.
You think so?
Yeah. Niamh, I think you'd look great with some like UV
I'll
goggles.
do it if Niamh will do it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go with like hacker goggles. When I put them on, I can see the code.
Are they glasses?
No, they're goggles. You
He
put
has
them
like
on.
the Matrix code running down both.
Yeah.
Okay.
John should have 3D ones, so one is red and one's like blue.
Yeah.
And then Niamh, you can have ones where you put them on and you can only see like your tinted reflection in them, so you can't see your eyes.
This is great. And maybe there's a bit where someone could ask Bryan's character, like, with the Matrix code, what can you see with those? And Bryan just looks at them and goes, everything.
I know how long you have left to live in this simulation.
What's this called? What's this? Let's fight a boss _ what?
./truth. You guys have heard it here first. The next Patreon goal is a hacker feature film.
The 40-minute short movie, Let's Fight a Boss _ /truth.
I don't want to call it a movie. I want to call it an imagining. Niamh's making a face.
What's wrong, Niamh?
No,
Do you want to pitch a bit for the movie?
I don't want to pitch a bit for the movie.
Niamh?
Okay, my favorite moments in movies is when people are eating, so I think we should go in and order a really well done steak.
Okay, and I'll be like, great choice, Niamh.
Wait, and then you'll be like, I know Niamh would never do this to me. We're in the Matrix.
There should be a
That's
bit where...
pretty good.
That's also in the Matrix. There should be a bit where we all get tattoos as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like barcodes and shit like that.
I'm going to get the word on my arm, sniper.
You know what's a gimmick that needs to stop?
Yeah.
Putting a cat in movies and having them like repeat as a throwback to the Matrix. It happens all the fucking
It
time.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think it's because this is some fucking cat. You just fuck it out across the screen.
There you go. Reference.
So
Instantly.
is it like the cat crosses twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
The glitch, the deja vu.
Man, I remember The Matrix.
Good movie.
Great movie. Then The Matrix Reloaded came out, made the first one look like dog shit.
Absolute. The Matrix Reloaded, and that was it.
Uh-huh. I think The Matrix Reloaded would be a better movie if The Matrix 1 and 3 never came out. And they just dropped The Matrix Reloaded exactly as it is.
Called Reloaded as well.
Yep. And just let people deal with it.
I know we can't name the episode The Matrix Reloaded, but the code name for this episode is Let's Fight a Boss episode 134 The Matrix Reloaded.
Okay, I think we should just call it that. And I think in like a year we should have Let's Fight a Boss 162, The Matrix Reloaded 2.
That's not how things are done at all. That's not a decision. Can we just talk about a movie or something?
Niamh, you brought to our attention Razorblades Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a, what do you call it? A quarterly anthology comic book horror magazine. So it's got a selection. I think they're all around 75 pages long. So it's a section of short comic book stories and short stories and some interviews and full page illustrations and with all a horror slant in all of them. And it's a pretty cool magazine. I don't really read a lot of horror despite it being my favorite movie genre. So it's like, may as well check out the tapas of horror comics, which is this magazine. And yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I'd look at this and I thought it was like, I didn't read any of the short stories, but I looked through some of the comics and I thought it was so cool. Like, it's got such a strong like visual presentation, because like some of the short stories and stuff, they're not just, well, they are text on a page, but it's like a jaunty letter with like scrawled writing and stuff, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, the graphic design is really nice. They've really put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
I think when it comes out you can buy it physically, but I think it's like limited run of like 50 copies. So
wow, okay.
Yeah, so I've only ever bought it digitally, and it's now 3 issues in. So it's the first, I guess it's into its second year. It's quarterly, but yeah, it's a really new kind of fledgling thing, and I think it's worth supporting because it gives a lot of, you know, horror writers and comic artists something to kind of cut their teeth on. And like, I don't know, some of the stuff I read was pretty scary, and some of the full page illustrations, like that is a cool monster imagined. And you know,
I feel like sometimes with horror stuff, like especially with horror anthology stuff, you can really see when like an artist who does not draw a lot of horror draws horror, and it's like, yep, that's a spooky picture. But then there's like horror artists, and you can tell they live and breathe this shit, and some of the imagery they produce is just like, oh fuck. Like there's one,
it's straight up chilling,
and it was like a bunch of like kind of vagrant looking dudes, and they were all just in this like really gross alley, all kind of like wrapped up and happy with just this fucking abomination tentacle thing. And that image has been in my head all night, you know?
Yeah.
And it's fucking rad. Like, I really want to go check out more of it. What's like the origin of this thing? Because I'm kind of just shocked by how well
good
made
it
it was.
It's 2 comic writers, I'm pretty sure, James Tywin IV and Steve Fox. And
brilliant.
I'm pretty sure they've written, at least one of them has written Batman a few times. And the like interview they have in the first one is with Scott Snyder, who does Swamp Thing and Batman. So it's coming from like people who exist in comics, you know, and know what they're doing and know how to get big names for this as well. Like some of the illustrations in the second one, you have Jen Bartel and stuff. So it's like, it's going for people you would know. Like it has kind of a pedigree to it, but also introducing a whole pile of people's work I have not heard of and not
some
seen
of the art
before.
is just so cool. Like there's one, it's real like cartoony and stylized, but the colors on it are so harsh that it really like speaks to horror, even though like the look itself is nearly kind of simple, which doesn't always work at horror, but it works here.
Yeah, it's like a real like mixed bag. Like in the second one, there's like really beautiful psychedelic color issues and stuff, and they kind of bring in. This is like an over 18s magazine as well. I'll say there is some kind of psychosexual stuff later on in the later issues, and I have noticed there has been a push to get more like, you know, like diverse people creating for it as well, which is cool because it's like even at its second issue they had made that change, you know. So that you can only hope it continues to go. So that's kind of what I wanted to shout it out, because I don't know, I used to love reading like horror magazines when I was a kid, and like reading all these little short stories about aliens or graveyards, and it's so hard to find. Like I'm nostalgic for magazines basically.
I've like gotten into reading like short story horror anthologies, and it takes me a long time to read anything, but I really love like going to bed and reading a little bit of that horror short story that night and come back to it.
It exactly feels like that if you've got an hour that you want to wind down with some horror that will maybe keep you dreaming. that's where I'm reading it, and it's a super good time.
Occupy your mind so it can't be scared of the more mundane things.
Yep. I think it's $5 for the digital editions, but it's like pay what you want as well. So I think you can give more to it as a project. But yeah, check it out. That's Razorblades.
Off the back of that, I know in Praise of Shadows just did like a 3-hour 2-part series on like the history of horror comics. Really super interesting. Like, it's so sad how that industry crashed and burned. Like, when you watch like the court hearing, it was like basically just this guy who loved horror comics, completely innocent, no idea about legal ease, just thought he was going to be able to like go in and like convince these, you know, all the kind of lawyers and all like the kind of people who are like making a big stand against like adult material in horror comics. And he thought he was just going to be able to like talk them around, and he just got destroyed.
He appealed to their artistic integrity.
Yeah.
But they were lawyers.
No, they're just admin.
Yeah. But
They got nothing.
yeah, I second Niamh on that. I thought it was really, really cool. Guys, we all watched How To with John Wilson.
Yes, we did. Let's finally talk about How To with John Wilson.
We actually talked about this last week, or Bryan and Niamh did, and we had some trouble last week.
There was an audio hiccup and that part of the conversation got lost. But we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again exactly the same.
Okay. So I think I started with How To with John Wilson is a 6-episode television show that aired on HBO at the end of last year.
And then Niamh, you followed it.
I said, he kind of sounds like Kermit, but then he shows his face and it's not Kermit, and that was disappointing.
No, it's just some white guy New Yorker in his mid to late 30s with a beard and a camera.
Dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Only one Kermit.
Man, Kermit's so cool.
He is.
John, what did you think of this show?
Oh, I loved it. I really, I thought this was a very, very special show. I don't think it's very often that you watch a TV show now where it's like, not only have I never seen anything like this, but I never would have imagined that this could have existed.
No, it really takes you on a journey across its 6 episodes, and I do recommend you watch it either as a 2-parter or a 1-parter journey, because I guess as a total it's 3 hours long, but you could kind of divide that into 2 evenings.
It's very easy. There's something really digestible about it, and I think that's like, I think it's the way he strings together words and footage, because like the whole thing is just this dude's entire, or like what it's meant to be, this dude's like entire collection of footage from around New York City. And every time he cuts to something, what he's cutting to is relevant to what he's saying in a really kind of sort of tangential, obtuse kind of way.
It's beautifully edited.
It's kind of like, these are stories from the city and here's the city. So like sometimes it's not exactly what he's talking about. Like, I don't know, a hawk pulling a pigeon apart. But, you know, it's about the brutality of the city.
Yeah, there's always like a thread. And I think that's what makes it so like kind of hypnotic. Because like with every new shot, your mind's like, oh, what's the connection here? There's one part where he talks about cops and it's a pig. And then the camera pans over and it's 2 cops eating an ice cream. And I was like, whoa.
That's pretty good. I really like how sometimes he'll start a shot earlier than it needs to be. Like the one where he's interviewing the people about collecting. And he's inside someone's home, but he's held the camera on their child who's inside a tiny car. And it's so out of nowhere. And you're like, what's going on? And then he pans the camera over to who he's talking to. And you're like, oh, okay, I understand now. But what was that?
Each episode has like a lesson, like how to wrap your couch.
Well, how to cover your furniture.
Cover your furniture, yeah.
This one on scaffolding, what's all that about?
Yep. And
how to make small talk.
Yeah, and they all start off as like these very general kind of essays about this subject, and then like he starts to like weave a narrative in, and some of the places he ends up,
he keeps leaving New York and it gets weirder.
That, I don't know why, but there's a part where he ends up at a referee's dinner, and it makes me like, the whole event just made me really sad.
Those referees are so unfair to each other.
Michelle got so upset at the Mandela effects convention. Like,
the fucking bit with the person's asking about how is the internet working and is that a conspiracy?
You guys know Michelle, not easily angered, fuming over this Mandela effect thing.
The Mandela effect is so interesting because it's just a whole like phenomenon that people made up because they're not comfortable with saying they were wrong, or that they thought something wrong when they were a child and then realized it was different as an adult. It's like, no, global conspiracy. Like, why? To misspell Febreze? Like,
Niamh,
it's fine.
Niamh, global conspiracy. It's alternate universes.
If that's it, if that's the only difference, is if Febreze is spelled with two
No,
E's.
in Star Wars, Darth Vader now says, "No, I am your father." When of course we all know he used to say, "Luke, I am your father." Explain that one.
I don't know. They printed one on t-shirts and people got it wrong.
I know, and it's like, guys, it's just at some point a t-shirt or something went out and misquoted this, and then we all misquoted it.
And it just ends up being part of pop culture, and it's just a shorthand for a more detailed thing.
But that's just the internet now. Like, you can find enough evidence to believe whatever you want, and these people have chosen this.
It's really easy to get a corkboard and just link everything together. Did you know that everything has water in it? Conspiracy?
Oh, I'd have to check that out. What about humans? There can't be any water in humans unless they just drank a glass of water.
We're full of piss at all times.
So much piss.
Oh,
This is
the kind of weird places this guy ends up. And
the one where he meets the guy who poses as teenage girls to capture predators on the internet was something else.
That was such a great segue.
He just meets him at a wrestling convention because he's asking about the future of mankind, and he talks about the wrestler Mankind.
oh, yeah.
And then he's like, no, I mean like all of us. He's like, oh, you mean in a general sense? Yeah, I think we're going okay.
Yeah. It's just it's a show about weird adventures through New York City and the fucking weird places. And then like he does travel a bit as well, which is kind of interesting.
It runs up until up to the start of COVID, which is the
till
last
about March
episode.
or April. Yeah.
Oh man, and like the way they kind of reveal it, where it's like he comes back from a trip and the train's empty, and he goes to a shop and the shelves are empty, and it's like, fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
It does it hits you, that part, like the whole storyline with his landlord and stuff.
Yeah, his landlady's like super old, like
She's such a nice little woman.
in her 80s.
Yeah.
and
She's the sweetest.
he calls her mama and spends a lot of time with her, but then he's obviously afraid to spend any time with her, and that episode was trying to make the perfect rosato, and then kind of at the end he was kind of like, maybe if I didn't spend all the time perfecting the rosato, I would have been able to have it with her before all of this happened. It was really sad. It was pretty bittersweet and made me cry a few times, which, you know, the 5 episodes beforehand would not make you cry.
No,
they were like a fever dream.
I don't know. When I saw the guy's foreskin stretching device,
that definitely gets an emotion out of you. But like,
yeah, but that was like, oh no.
You just really
I
like
think
that
when
film.
you're a boy, Niamh, it's more like.
Don't do that to you.
I liked it though. Like, I'm like, yeah, like there's a heart to this, and like the episodes there was a kind of sweetness to them. The spring break guy kind of stuck with me. Like,
yeah.
Like he meets this, he goes to like a spring break and he meets this party dude, and within minutes you're like, oh no, this man has nothing and is empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the series does a good job of kind of like painting pictures of kind of unusual people, but the host himself, John Wilson, is also an unusual person.
How genuine do you guys think this stuff is?
I think
that's all his footage.
Yeah.
I think it's super genuine.
That's what I thought as well, but there's a bunch of cinematographers listed in the credits.
I mean, I'm sure given all that footage, it was the people who spliced the stuff together or picked the stuff that was the nicest.
Well,
and
that's
there was
an
probably... Oh, okay. But there was probably pickup shots done as well.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because other than that, it feels like 100% genuine to me.
To me, it kind of feels like a mixture of like he has all this archival footage and it's netted together with like more recent footage, but the more recent footage is probably a collaboration with the HBO budget. That's probably how he's able to travel outside of New York.
Yeah.
But like some of it looks like it's been documented for years. And so I think a lot of the work went into just clicking and dragging everything into place and making a quilt of bizarreness.
Yeah. As far as like Does this seem like the kind of person who would just document things randomly for years? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those diaries were something else. The tiny handwriting.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
But he makes a good point for it all.
He does. It's a terrific little TV show. We didn't even talk about the trailer for it, but the trailer for it's just a fucking Nathan For You episode.
Yeah, because the show's produced by Nathan For You, so if you like Nathan For You, it's got very similar vibes. It's definitely its own thing, but you could see the DNA of Nathan For You in it.
Yeah.
It has that kind of awkward cringe that some people are just so put off by that they can't watch. But in Nathan For You, but
really,
yeah. But I think like this is more sincere because it's about a guy, really.
And like maybe he's fucking around a bit, but like I can't tell with Nathan For You. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know. But with this guy, I would like put money on it's 90% him. Like maybe he's playing up stuff in bits.
He's just playing an exaggerated version of his actual self.
Yeah. It's a really great TV show. I think people should check it out. Bryan,
yes,
tell us about Jasper Mall.
Jasper Mall is a documentary that came out last year about a dead mall in Alabama. This is really cool because it's a 90-minute documentary. It just focuses on Jasper Mall, and it focuses on the security guy and then a few of the shop owners and then some of the customers that frequent the mall. And it was a mall that opened up about 40 years ago in the early 80s, and it looks like an 80s mall that has just kind of been half frozen in time, half abandoned. There's a lot of like shutters pulled down on empty, vacant like spaces, and they mainly follow the security guy, and it's his job to run the security of the mall, but also he's the janitor because it seems like the mall is nearly going to close any moment now, and all the roles have been downsized and kind of doubled into more than one job. And it's interesting because the people who frequent the mall as part of their daily life still take this mall incredibly seriously, and it's part of their routine. And so it's them kind of coming to terms and trying to understand that time has kind of moved on from this mall, and they're kind of attached to the mall while time has kind of forgotten about them too.
Yeah.
And so, for example, like a lot of the customers are elderly people, but a lot of them will just go to the open areas of the mall where the chairs are and they'll just play dominoes.
It's a place to go every day kind of thing.
Yeah. And there's a woman who runs a flower shop, and it's kind of her just talking about how much money she makes every year and how it's less and less. There's a guy who cuts keys and kind of adjusts jewelry, and he's kind of talking about how there's no more foot traffic in the mall, and he's just going to have to move to an outlet strip instead, or a strip outlet instead, just out near one of the main roads. And they kind of talk about the anchor stores, which I know is something that comes up in the Dan Bell documentaries on YouTube, where like a mall needs at least one or two anchor stores, and they're like the bigger shops like Target or JCPenney are the ones I could think of in America. So I guess here would be like a Dunnes or a Tesco or like a TK Maxx, where like they're the bigger shops, but then the other shops can kind of feed off the customer base of that shop. Mm-hmm. And so this mall, on either end of the mall, it has these big two departments that are just completely vacant. And the security guy's kind of talking about how, oh, we have one business interested and it might work out, but you know, it's not gonna.
It's not gonna.
And there's a bit towards the end where they talk about trying to get more people interested in the mall. So they rent a traveling carnival fun fair to set up in the car park of the mall, because nobody's parking the cars at the mall anyway, and like it's just this huge giant tarmac space. So, and that's really interesting because it's just sort of like a slice of Alabama life of just people at the carnival enjoying themselves and then kind of being interviewed about the mall, and they're like, yeah, we never go to this mall, we're just kind of here for a night out. And it's a real kind of look at a type of America you don't really get to see.
It's like a small town that's just completely economically like devastated. There's no work. I've watched this as well. Like there's a young guy comes for work at the mall and starts talking to the security guy, and he's like, well, I can hire you to like clean the bathrooms with me and kind of thing. But it's kind of like you feel like everyone's kid is probably going to the mall to try and get some kind of job there because that's all they kind of got.
Oh yeah, and as well, like the biggest business in the mall is the US Army Recruitment Center. Mm-hmm. So they spend a bit of time with them as well. So like I think they have like 2 shops or like 2 storefronts, but they seem to be like the busiest shop in the mall, I guess.
That sounds awesome.
It's a real intro, and like it's a very slow burn documentary. But like it I really enjoyed it. It's very sad.
Cool. Sounds great. Niamh, tell us about Rental.
I wish I could say positive things about The Rental.
This is a horror movie about rental
so
house.
this is The Rental. It's a video on demand movie. I think it was meant to go to theaters, but because of COVID, it ended up on places like Amazon, and it feels like something that was made for like streaming services, because like on the front it is basically a slasher home invasion movie, and you've got a really great cast. You've got Dan Stevens, who's in Legion, Downton Abbey, Apostle. You got Alison Brie from Glow and Community. You got Sheila Vand, who's like a girl from who walks home alone at night, and then this other guy, Jeremy Allen White.
He's the main guy, or the main son in Shameless.
Okay, there we go.
He's very good.
He's great, yeah.
It's a killer cast, an amazing cast. So I think with a slasher home invasion, you kind of gotta hit maybe one of 3 things. So the 3 things I think you gotta hit is either character drama, so the drama between all the characters, your killer has to be cool if it's a slasher, or the escapes have to be at least cool. So they're kind of my 3 big things slasher home invasion movie should have. So this opens with 2 couples going to stay at a rental accommodation for a weekend, just to have a nice time together. From the very opening shot, it kind of sets up that a person from each couple is going to cheat. So there's a guy looking at the computer, looking at the rental accommodation, and there's a girl like leaning against his shoulder, and you're kind of led to assume they're a couple until her boyfriend, his brother, comes in. So that's the drama, and it goes exactly where you think of straight away. They cheat. Like, that is the movie. It's set up from the opening thing, and and that's just the central drama. Then, being a standard slasher, they do stupid things trying to kind of keep this cheating under wraps, and eventually a slasher dude comes and kills them.
Like, is it just a dude with a knife?
It's a dude with a mask and a knife.
What's the mask?
It's of an old man.
Ooh, that is like, pretty scary.
It's not iconic. The deaths aren't interesting. They're really boring. Like, they're kind of like brutally kind of realistic, but not brutal enough to be brutal, but like brutal realistic in the way that they are quick and then they're over.
Kind of sounds like the sort of movie that you watch it and you're like, why was this made?
Exactly.
Do you know who directed it?
That's where I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting.
Brian, don't tread on her punchline.
No,
you can tell him, but let me keep going for a while.
Yeah.
So you've got Alison Brie, who's an amazing actress, and you were giving her the shittiest lines about this stupid cheating subplot that is so obvious, and everyone's doing stupid shit. And the only positive aspect to this entire movie is that they brought a dog called Frankie. He's a little French bulldog, and he's cute. But you also know the person who wrote this movie doesn't know what the fuck to do with this dog, because he just disappears when he's convenient. And if anyone brought a dog anywhere, people would care about the dog going missing or the dog not being there. People just don't forget a dog. It's not a fucking baby. It's not it's
dogs
not
make people happy.
It's not an inanimate object. It isn't someone's motorbike or something. It's like a dog. And these 2 couples are like, where'd the dog go? Guess we won't figure that out or bother. And it just seems so annoying and shallow. And I'm like, who made this and how did they get these actors? Brian, who made the movie?
James Franco's brother, Dave Franco, directed this.
Oh, my favorite.
He's married to Alison Brie.
What?
Oh, you didn't know
What?
Are you jealous?
No.
Isn't that the worst thing ever?
Isn't that just the worst?
And he gave her such a shitty role.
Oh yeah, he loves his wife.
Because there's a moment in that where you're like, yeah, Alison Brie's character, you get the fuck out of there. It doesn't matter because it's a shitty slasher. It's
all bets are off. Yeah, because James Franco has directed some movies. Like, he shits something out every year and nobody goes to see it. And now Dave was like, yo, James, think about making a movie about like a slasher.
I'd love to do a super cut of all the weird mumbling Dave Franco does in between his lines. So like, it would just be like, because it's just always that.
You guys like magicians? I'm going to do some card tricks. Dave Franco. He likes to say his name a lot. He's like a
Muppet Pokemon.
He's like a Pokemon.
Actually, you know what? Look, while we're on it, do you just want to say, Dave Franco, We don't want you as a guest on this podcast.
Yeah,
Let's just nip that in the bud.
Alison Brie, though, she can.
Alison
I can't
Brie.
believe they're married.
Ali, girl,
That is like,
we're your friend. If you want to get out of Dave's house,
I told you I was
just
watching
want to get out of
Mad
that
Men,
situation.
and she is a consistent joy in it, and she's also married to the worst boy. Niamh, that sounds disappointing on so many levels.
yeah.
Okay.
But Dave Franco wants to turn it into a franchise.
Of course he does, and he probably will because the Franco brothers.
Guys, I watched The Forbidden Door.
John, no.
Do you guys know what this is?
No.
Is this like an 80s movie?
Kinda.
Okay.
It has been going on since the 80s. It's Wrestle Talk.
Motherfucker.
Oh, okay, guys. I'll make this quick. Our story begins January of 2020. Chris Jericho faces Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 14, and Hiroshi Tanahashi says the infamous words, "If I defeat Chris Jericho, I will open the Forbidden Door." What's the Forbidden Door, I hear you ask? Well, we'll get to that in a while. Cut to recently. Well, last November to be precise, AEW's Winter is Coming event. That's what they called it. I thought it was a really bad name. I still think it's a really bad name. I stole it for the opening bit for the first episode we did back.
Pathetic.
Yep. It was really awful. And this was really weird because the main event was Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley for the AEW title. And right at the end of it, Kenny Omega comes out with the owner of TNA Wrestling, which was a very strange move because it's like, hang on, in reality, he shouldn't be here.
This is your competitor.
This is like real life, like corporate competitors. And it's like, this is very strange. Things play out, and the owner of TNA helps Kenny Omega win the AEW title. And Kenny Omega turns up the next week on TNA's whatever their fucking Impact, their TV show, and it's like, wait, what is happening? This is fucking weird. And since then, Kenny Omega has been going back and forth between AEW and TNA in some really strange, like, cross reality stuff where it's like, wait, what's real and what's happening here? But it got much weirder recently because Kenny Omega was recently saved by Kenta, who is the current leader of the Bullet Club in New Japan. And that happened on AEW television.
When you say saved, what do you mean?
He was about to lose his title, which means he might as well have died.
Okay.
I don't think that's true. I think it was like a tag match. But Kenta basically came out and beat the shit out of Jon Moxley because they have a whole thing going on. And so you have this New Japan wrestler in a New Japan t-shirt. He was wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt standing in the middle of an AEW ring. And it's like all the everyone that isn't WWE is converging into this one big super meta storyline.
Is this the Forbidden Door?
This is the Forbidden Door, Niamh. The Forbidden Door is American wrestling. New Japan has opened the Forbidden Door. And here's the reason I really, really, really give a shit about this. Kenny Omega is the AEW World Champion. Aside from like the WWE Championships, probably the most valuable championship in wrestling right now in America. Do you know who the New Japan World Champion is?
Ibushi.
It's Kota fucking Ibushi, which means we are headed, I think, long term for an AEW New Japan crossover pay-per-view that ends with World Champion Kota Ibushi versus World Champion Kenny Omega. I predict the match will last 4 days, and I'm so fucking excited.
Golden Lovers.
The Golden Lovers, more like the Golden Haters.
I can't believe I could guess that just based on you talking in this podcast.
Yeah, you've absorbed a lot of wrestling knowledge.
I really have.
Like, by osmosis. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it means it's working.
Yeah.
We give a shit.
But did Chris Jericho have to lose? Like, what happened? Like,
Chris
the Forbidden
Jericho-
Door seems open.
Chris
Yeah.
Jericho defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi and became the Painmaker.
That's the worst name.
It's a play on Kazuchika Okada's Rainmaker. But this is the thing.
But he swapped the one letter.
Yep.
Very clever.
This is the thing about Jericho, though, Niamh. Remember, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He's still fucking brilliant. And whatever he tries, he wears a neckerchief now. It's fantastic.
Like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Jesus Christ. Yep. He started a weird little family called the Inner Circle, and they're a bunch of big angry men, and they're so cute, and they do Brady Bunch style skits sometimes.
Did they go around in a mystery machine and solve old ghost mysteries?
Kinda, if by ghost mysteries you mean ruin other wrestlers' lives.
Yeah, same thing.
But this is the most into like weekly wrestling I have ever been. I've had just so many decades of WWE just being kind of shit week to week, where like you don't even need to watch it. You can just watch the pay-per-views and gain nearly 100% of the context. Where it's like I'm like, fuck, what's gonna happen on AEW tonight? Like, what's gonna happen? And like there's just been all this really other good stuff. There's this new faction rose up called the Dark Order. And the Dark Order was a really shitty faction for a while. And then this new guy came along, Brody Lee, who's like an ex-WWE guy, tragically passed away right after he basically made Dark Order great. And now Dark Order, this group of bad guys, have become this super beloved group because of how he like raised up the other members of it and gave them all their own personality, and they're like really funny and they're really cute, and it's really sad, but it's like there is such heat behind it, you know. There's like heart, and like all the wrestlers are devastated after like losing their friend, and it's some real shit, you know. Like it's wrestling, but like there's so much genuine emotion. Their leader now is -1. They're all ranked numbers 1 to 10, and -1 is Brody Lee, the wrestler who died. It's his son, and he's like 8 years old, and they've just become like such a family to this kid, and it's so sad, but it's so sweet.
Okay,
they had
that's
like
cool.
an on-air birthday for him.
Aww.
Yeah.
So if the bad guys are good guys, who are the actual bad guys?
Well, they were like a bad faction, and they're still shitheads, but everyone loves them.
Okay.
You know, that kind of way.
But you don't want them to lose either.
Or they get the shit kicked out of them.
Okay.
But there's plenty more bad guys to go around.
So is the true Forbidden Door WWE?
I mean, it's America, and like technically they have done one or two like crossover events. Like even like, you know, New Japan's done stuff for OTT, Bryan, which we saw a bunch of times.
Yes.
But
I guess it's them invading the West.
But WWE has never acknowledged the existence of another wrestling group outside one or two Attitude Era skits. They just won't acknowledge it, because if you're Vince McMahon, if Vince McMahon does anything, AEW can like AEW gain from that no matter what it is, because people find out about AEW. And right now, like the difference between the two products, WWE has like one of the best rosters it's ever had. It also has some of the worst storylines it's ever had. And they basically, it's just this compound that kind of hoards talent now. And I still like WWE. Roman Reigns shit is fantastic, but there's such like life and creativity behind AEW right now, and it just seems like a place that people are very happy to work. Their women's division still sucks, which is completely inexcusable considering how good the female talent is there, but it just feels like no one has taken the reins and really booked it properly. My feeling is that whoever's in charge of the women's division is not used to booking wrestling storylines because it's so haphazard, but there's still so many good female wrestlers. So that's super disappointing, but if we get that in order, AEW would be fantastic. Forbidden Door, everyone. Great movie. Strategy talk. Niamh.
Yes.
You've been playing some of that Resident Evil
Reverse.
It's a bad
Reverse.
name.
Yeah. So I was playing some of this. The beta lasted kind of 2 days on and off. They had some maintenance running in between those days. When Rebecca walked into the room, she said, "Why does it look like that?" Because it looks pretty ropey. If you don't know what this is going to be the multiplayer add-on to Resident Evil 8 Village that they're bundling in with it. It is the only mode available on the beta was Deathmatch, so it's all PvP. So you have the option of 6 survivors: Claire, Leon, Ada, Hunk, Resident Evil 7 Chris, and Jill. And you also have bioweapons. So you go around the map and you shoot each other, and when you die, Depending on how many vials you gather on the map, you will turn into a bioweapon. So you will turn into Jack, or you will turn into Nemesis.
It's just funny to me because like you spend so much of Resident Evil trying not to turn into a bioweapon.
Yep. So this is your goal, is to get as many vials. I think it's not even a lot. It's 2 to turn into the max bioweapon, 1 to turn into kind of a mid-range one, and if you collect 0, you'll turn into kind of just a fat molded from Resident Evil 7 remake. It feels like it's such an asset flip game. Like, that's what it is. The only map available was the Raccoon Police Department. It was
3rd time's a charm.
It was stretched out for people to fit, and the characters were clearly scaled down within it. But
so it's got like giant chairs and stuff.
It doesn't look too obvious, to be honest. I thought it would look worse, but it doesn't. But what they did do is they've clearly sped up everyone's run cycle, but they haven't like added the frames. So to make everyone move faster, they've just sped them up.
So Niamh, I remember when Half-Life came out back in the day. You play as Gordon Freeman, and then the multiplayer was also there. And for the models, all they had done really was created this run cycle where they didn't animate anything above the knees. So it would just be you holding your gun and your legs just kind of going. I thought this kind of looked like that.
Kind of has that feel. It kind of has that really kind of chaotic run, really choppy run.
Yeah. Like they don't have like pivots in their animations.
No, and there isn't a lot of like, you're dealing with like big weapons because every round is only 5 minutes long. So when the last 2 minutes they start like giving you rocket launchers and grenade launchers to really spice shit up, and it's a point-based system, so whoever has the most points at the ends wins. So you get points for kills, you get like multipliers for like killing the leader, killing like the first 3 people who are leading the match. Getting multi-kills will get you stuff like that, and dying will deduct points. But the kind of idea is that you will die, go to a bioweapon, die, and respawn really fast, and you could respawn like 7 different times in a 5-minute match. It's silly, it's fast, it looks really bad. You can turn off the comic book filter and it looks kind of more like Resident Evil 2 remake, but I honestly kept playing with the filter on because it was easier to see things, because you're playing PvP now, you don't want someone hiding in the shadows. Why would like, it was nearly, you're working with a deficit if you're kind of playing without it.
So it just cell shades everything?
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much.
I gotcha.
I actually had a fun with it, surprisingly. Like,
I mean, like, we can talk shit about it, but if you had a good time with it.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it has legs. Like, I really don't. But
you don't see this as something you'd go back and play and like.
Well, you know, you did your PlayStation Wrapped, came out this month.
Yep.
My second most played game was Resident Evil Resistance. I don't really think it matters too much about the quality of this game, if you get me.
Yeah.
I will probably find something fun in it and probably find a golden carrot, like some kind of outfit to unlock, and keep going with it. But I played a lot of it.
Is that like because there's like a genuine hook here, or because you just like spending time in this world?
I like Resident Evil. Like there was the people playing in the beta all had name like Claire Redfield or Wesker's wife. Like it was fans.
I want to see Wesker's wife's Tumblr.
I don't.
She's made a lot of beautiful graphics.
I bet she has.
Like, it was people who were really into Resident Evil, and there was a fun moment. There's nothing in this game to communicate. Like, there's no emotes, there's no, like, you know, over there's no, like, any communication you can make.
It's crazy how much that stuff's become, like, the standard now.
It really does, and I kind of missed it. I teamed up with an Ada, who, it's all PvP, it's all deathmatch, we should have been fighting each other, but we teamed up to take on a bioweapon as Nemesis. We killed him. We had a moment where we looked at each other and it was like, okay, time to do the dance of trying to kill each other. And every character has on cooldown specials. Like Leon he starts dual wielding a gun, and he has a kick.
Hell yeah.
Like, so everyone has their own individual specials, but like it really needs some serious balancing. It's kind of hard to talk about it super seriously because it feels not like a serious thing. So you get into the game, everyone has a primary weapon. No one used the primary because it's useless. So everyone switches to shotgun and assault rifles. Everyone was playing as Hunk and Resident Evil 7 Chris because they have assault rifles. So there's no use for your primary weapon already. And that's kind of just where it was at, where it feels like this will take so much work to balance. No one was playing as Ada because Ada was super squishy. So it's like it has enough there that I would probably play it for some casual enjoyment because it happens so fast and the matches are so quick. But I don't know. It's something that I can see have a 6 month life cycle, quite like Resistance, which kind of its numbers are like it's still going, but its numbers are nothing. It's really hard to get a match.
Yeah, but it lets you spend more time with your Resident Evil guys.
Yeah, like people will play it when this game comes out, and if they do stuff like if they put in like a doubles mode, I think that could really pad it out. If they maybe added a minute to the clock, I think it's a bit too quick.
Yeah.
Like, if they have all these ideas with these characters, with their kind of specials and their cooldowns, and they have that there, and people want mercenaries, they have a good base to maybe make something else from this.
It's not in the news, but 9'4".
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
9'6", or was it 4?
I think it's 4 and then 6 with the hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good info. Good info.
Important info.
What do you guys hope like they do with her?
Well, she's going to have a bunch of different forms.
She's going to follow you like Mr. X.
Yeah.
But she'll look like a tall human at the start.
You see,
but she's going to get grosser and grosser.
This is what I don't want. I don't want at some point to be shooting the glowing orange points on her.
It's going to have glowing orange orbs. It's going to have
I hope they do something cooler because she's so fucking cool. And I don't know.
I mean...
I don't need to kill her.
It's a Resident Evil game. You're going to have to. She will have an orange patch on her.
That would be disappointing.
Insect.
Yeah, she's gonna like turn like she's gonna be real clever at the start, and then when she turns into like the bioweapon version, she's gonna get like
there's cool things they could do with that as well, right?
Yeah, but like it'll probably just be like a weird tentacle thing where the AI doesn't get clever anymore.
Like
and you just shoot the barrel that it tries to chase after.
If the end of Resident Evil 8 is her looking at the helicopter flying away and smiling and being like, "See you next time," I'd be fine with that. But I just think she has legs.
She does.
Yeah, she does
a lot.
legs.
Very
long
huge,
ones.
gigantic legs. Brian,
yes,
you played Ponpu.
Ponpu. This is a game that came out at the very end of last year, and it's an indie game. I played it on the Switch, and it's somewhere between Bomberman and Binding of Isaac.
Oh, cool.
You play as a space duck, and you're on a planet, and you vomit up egg bombs, and then you kick the bombs along.
That's not how ducks work at all.
I know. This game looks real weird. It's cool because the game's in black and white, but it's not in grayscale. It's in like a bone white and like a very muted brown.
Oh.
And then it has like an RGB split on it as well, so it has like a tiny bit of color on it. And then it does these like cool eye catches like Gurren Lagann does, or like in Dead Leaves where like the shadows are just like hard solids. So like the visuals in this game are so nice.
Cool.
And it's a single player game and a multiplayer game, and the multiplayer kind of works like a frantic Bomberman, and then the single player kind of works like Binding of Isaac, but it's not like randomly generated, but the map layouts kind of feel like Binding of Isaac, where you're kind of going from room to room and you need to kind of like it's based on like kind of twitchy responses.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't know how long the single player campaign is. Probably like an hour long. But so far I'm enjoying it. I've only played about 1 or 2 hours of this game. I bought it on sale and I'm very happy with it.
The single player campaign's an hour long.
About an hour or two.
Is it on the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much was it?
I think I got it for like €8.
Cool.
And the visuals are great. The music is great too.
I'm fine with that if it's a good hour.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I really, really want to try the local multiplayer because it just seems like it zooms out the map loads, and it's just because there's 4 different kind of space ducks, but they're all the same kind of like moveset. But they all have like a very distinct look. I just think the multiplayer of this could potentially be a lot of fun.
Cool.
I'm just saying.
I might check it out.
Okay.
I
just think I think everybody
we'll do a game evening next week.
I think everybody should type in Ponpu into YouTube and have a look at it. It's a cool duck.
Okay. Guys, I played more Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Really feeling it.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get to a place where you like it?
Oh god, I'm trying so hard, Niamh. This is harder than I try. I have spent more time trying with this game than I have playing games I love. And it's not happening. It's just not happening. And I want to talk about it on the podcast just because we briefly talked about this about 5 hours into Game of the Year, and I don't feel like my points were very salient then. So
No, the madness had
the madness had been there for a while. Like, yeah, there's cool stuff about this game. Ichiban he's an adorable little ball of shonen energy wrapped in a 40-year-old man's body, and I think that's great, and I think he's great, and I love his character design, love how he looks, I love the voice acting behind him, I love everything about that character. I think I said something similar to this, but like, Kiryu is a very difficult character to follow up after 20 years of games, and I think Ichiban is as damn close as you could get it. I think he's a great character in, I just have to say it, like a bad game.
Is this all battle system woes?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I really respect the shit out of the change to the battle system. Like, what a fucking brave move. Like a complete genre shift. I just hate the battles. I feel like they take so long, and there's just a bunch of mechanics in there that don't feel like they work at all. Like, there's so many moves that are area of effect moves, or, you know, this move affects like a line in front of your character, this move like goes in like a cone outward from your character, but it doesn't matter because you don't have any control over the movement of your character or your enemies, so you will trigger these moves and an enemy will step out of the way, and it's like, well, if I'd known that, I would have used a different move.
But like, you can kind of like, I get what you mean. When I run into a fight when they're all kind of close together, I switch to Ichiban as quick as possible, and then do his AoE, because I know it's the first hit is the only one I can get an AoE in. And it's kind of like, you can line them up, but it does feel like you're kind of cheesing it to a degree to hit those.
In parts like that, yeah, like if you're in a tight space, it's like, okay, Ichiban's gonna be my guy here, and like I can appreciate that, but so many of the fights are like, especially in the open world, it's just, I'm just like, okay, what's my strongest move? I'm gonna use this. And like, the whole kind of concept of the battle with the enemies turning into like fantasy versions of themselves, it just, I don't think it's good, you know?
I don't think they change enough to make it actually make sense, because for a while I didn't realize it was happening until I was just like, oh wait, okay.
And then like, sometimes it's like, you're fighting a man in a suit, and he turns into a man with a suit and a knife, and the man behind him turns into a giant underpants wearing, bottle swinging guy. And I don't know, it just I don't know, it tonally, it just kind of doesn't really work for me. And like, Yakuza have always been over the place with tone, but it's the way they've walked that line that makes me love those games, you know? And I don't know, I just feel there's so many enemies in it where it's like, the first time you see them, it's like, oh, okay. And then you see them again and again and again and again and again. And I really feel like the fights are so repetitive and have so little strategic depth outside of figuring out what element your opponent is weak to and just nailing them with that. And even then, so many of the enemies feel so damage spongy. Like, they just feel like they take so long of repeating the same pattern over and over and over, and then just healing your guys and hitting them with the attack. And I just get zero enjoyment out of it. Like, I just feel like there's practically nothing to this battle system.
Here's my issue with this. The battle system it had was super basic before. Like, super, super basic. Fights took a really long time. Enemies felt damage spongy. It seems like the same thing, but with a different way of, like, input way, you know?
The fights definitely didn't take as long.
I felt they did in the parts I've played, and I was really
That's
like,
okay.
That took
like,
a really long time.
I understand that, but like, I have played, 6 of these games.
I know
like,
you have.
Trust me, the fights do, like, you can mop people up in those fights when you know what you're doing. When you say like the fights don't have a lot of depth, like, you're absolutely right. In the old games, they don't. There is a level of expression in them, though. I like especially in the later games when you're talking about multiple different fighting styles and upgrade paths, and like, what way do you want to lean in? Like, do you want to like Majima to be like this counter-based brawler? Do you want him to be this just like meter building break dancer? There was all this kind of stuff you could do, and I know there's job stuff in this, but nothing like nothing about the jobs felt that interesting to me because the jobs didn't feel built around its particular play style. They just have different moves, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so say with the old one, what I'd like to say, like, okay, you get into a fight, you maybe maybe you're fighting like a bunch of really fast enemies, so you switch into breakdancer style, and that's going to let you build meter super fast, and then you're going to like, you know, switch over to another heavier hitting style and spend that meter like cashing in your big damage moves. And you might combine that with like breakable items in the environment. So it's like, okay, I know there's like a chair in this environment and 2 tables. At what point in the fight do I want to use those chairs and those tables? I fully feel that like I'm not going to make the argument that it's like a super deep combat system, but I really feel like when, like, especially like when you start getting those upgrade paths and you get all these different options, it's like there is totally stuff that you can express the way you want to fight. And I never ever got that sense with the new one. It also brings me on to like my next point, and it's presentation. One thing I love about like the old Yakuza fight system is I feel like it's just incredibly cinematic. Even the regular fighting a bunch of dudes in an alley, it's like you can use the environment you go over, and like you spend some heat, and you throw a guy through a window and Kiryu jumps in afterward and drop kicks him, and it's just all these really fucking incredibly animated heat moves that just punctuated every fight, and it felt so good, you know? There's nothing really like that in this. There's summons that cost a lot of money, but like they're cutscenes you watch once or twice and then skip because they take like 30 seconds. And they're good, like they're presented well, but other than that, like you're just kind of watching a bunch of people run back and forth, and like they're not doing anything interesting with the cinematography. They're not cutting in closer. They're just doing their thing, and like that would be bad enough for me in just the fights. But to me, it just infects nearly the entire game. I think you could criticize a lot about Yakuza plots. I think it's definitely something that feels very kind of made up in stages. I think the only Yakuza game that I feel like has a really brilliant plot is Yakuza 0. I think the way that game is constructed is like just incredible. A lot of the other Yakuza games, and even Yakuza 0 a bit, it's kind of Kiryu stumbling into a Yakuza conspiracy and solving it by accident. Like, that is most Yakuza games. I don't care though, because for me, like, if you listen to this podcast long enough, you don't even watch my videos and stuff, I don't really care what happens in a story as much as the way it happens. And there's so many different ways you can communicate this, but with Yakuza, it could do so much with its visuals. It did so much through how it like conducted a cutscene. I could not write out the plot to Yakuza 6. I could put it all together when I played it, but like a lot happened since then. But when I think of Kiryu walking past Takumi and the way the camera cuts to his eyes and then cuts to Takumi and waits till the last second where it seems like they're going to physically like bump into each other, and then just at the last second it cuts to the side and Takumi steps to the side and Ryu walks past him, that like 12-second cutscene told you everything you needed to know about those two characters. And for the rest of that 40-hour game, just from that piece of cinematography, you could not wait to fucking see what was going to happen between those two people, just because it conveyed everything about who they were, and it was fucking beautiful. And that's something I love about these games so much. And Jesus Christ, so many of the cutscenes in Yakuza 7 are just really... Now, it's not all of them. There are absolutely good cutscenes, and like the first cutscene you see is really well done. But so many of the cutscenes are just people standing, and it's mid-shot, 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 back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, in-engine. You know, these aren't the pre-rendered cutscenes of like high-end Yakuza games. They're just trash cutscenes, and it's so disappointing, and I just feel it's so difficult to get into. I'm sure the story gets good eventually, but I'm 20 hours in, and it honestly, like I talked about Ichiban being this really cool character. I feel like he's this really cool character you toss into a toy box and just shake around. and that's your story, because it's just him bouncing off other characters. It's not telling me anything more about who he is. It's not telling me anything more about, like, the admittedly really good narrative they set up in the first couple hours. It's just me following this fucking paper trail of, like, money and, like, money laundering, and I don't care. Like, I just don't care. And even, like, his party, they're charming. I don't give a shit about them. You know, like, they're fine. Like, I like the girl we just got, but even then, like, I have a feeling I've experienced her story, and it was nothing. It was pretty much she was worried about her sister, who was more central to the story, and now she's just a member of the party, and it's like, okay. And it's kind of devastating. And, like, I get that some people are going to be like, you need to not focus on the fact that this is a Yakuza game and just enjoy it as a game. And I genuinely feel like that's a valid criticism of my criticisms. But at the same time, you can sneeze, Niamh. At the same time, it's like, I don't need this game to be the same as other Yakuza games. But if it's not going to be those games, I have to feel like it's bringing something else of value. I think, like, the Berserk movies lose a lot of what makes that manga great. It uses the camera in some really fucking amazing ways, and it does some really good stuff with wide-scale battles and movement in a way that you just can't do with a manga. So I'm happy.
Well, you could probably argue that this is the first one that they've done as an RPG with a new cast and kind of doing a party cast like story, and maybe the second one is where they'll have kind of put everything they've learned, like the second one with Ichiban.
So, like, that's my hope, you know, and that's... My hope is that this was them learning. But, and, like, I'm not saying this to you, Niamh, because other people have said this to me as well, but, like, that does not, to me, excuse any of the problems I have with the game. And it's like, it is my hope that the next Yakuza game, they're going to dial this in, they've improved the combat. But I feel like my problems with this game, the vast majority of them aren't that it's a turn-based RPG. My problems are that this is now a yearly iteration. This is now a yearly series. I don't think they're doing anything this year, but this is their third game in their third year in a row. And also, they've taken a 40-hour game and stretched it out to an 80-hour game, and I just feel like the cracks are everywhere. I get that people love this game. I don't. And I've really, really fucking tried. People have been asking, am I going to make a video about this? No. And the reason I'm not going to make a video out of it is because the idea of spending another 60 hours with this game is the most boring thing in the world, and I cannot do it. So, yeah. I don't like Yakuza 7 at all.
It's pretty good though, isn't it?
It is a good game, yeah.
Okay, just, not for you.
No, it's a fucking shit game.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, we all have these games that you want to love, and then you're like, ooh, maybe the franchise is not going in the direction I want it to go, and I'm not enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I think this is hitting me harder because Judgment, I didn't like that either. Mm-hmm. And I think I prefer Judgment to this, but this is just, I am devastated. I'm glad everyone's having a good time.
I'm glad you're not having a good time.
That's so mean, Bryan.
It is mean, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a positive podcast.
It is. That's why I'm saying some positive stuff.
Bryan.
Yeah.
Tell us about the new game from the fucking guy who made Sonic.
Okay, I played the demo for Balan Wonderworld. Do you guys know what this is?
I have the demo downloaded.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm so excited.
This is a 3D platformer from two key creators in Sonic the Hedgehog. That is, it's directed by Yuji Naka, and then the main artist is Naoto Oshima. And they would have done the original Sonic the Hedgehog games on the Mega Drive Genesis. But this feels a bit more closer to the 3D Sonic games and Billy Hatcher. In this game, it's a 3D, it's a children's cute 3D platformer mascot game in which you play as a boy or a girl and you wear different costumes that give you different abilities. And the trailers for this game made it look sort of interesting. It looked like something I would play.
I watched some of the trailers and it was kind of like, what is this?
So some of the cutscenes are these pre-rendered QuickTime files.
I think I saw a trailer that was just them.
Yeah. And then when you see the actual game, especially the Switch version, and this game is getting ported to every fucking console.
Well, it's the maker of Sonic, Bryan.
Yeah,
It's going to be a big hit.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in the GameCube. Like, this is just... It's coming out in every fucking...
This is going to be another Billy Hatcher.
Oh, yeah. I own Billy Hatcher, by the way.
I would believe it.
Yeah, I'm... This guy right here, Bryan Hatcher. You know what I'm about. So I played this game for about 50 minutes, and I was like, I can't play anymore. This just breaks some of the worst rules about platformers.
Oh my God, okay.
So your run in this game is so fucking slow, but your animation for the run looks like you're running on like ice, but you're not getting any friction with your run. Like you are walking as your character is animated to look like they're running. Like you make fuck all progress as you go from point A to point B on a level. The jump has barely any forward momentum, which is... So the two most important things about a platformer are the running and the jumping. And this game fucks up both of them. And I was just playing, I was like, this just feels wrong.
I think I'm like 3 times as excited to try this now.
It's abysmal. I'm really, really glad they put out this demo because now I know I don't need to buy this game. Like, I really appreciate them giving me the heads up not to waste my money on this.
I like when that happens.
Yeah, honestly. So thanks, guys. I recommend everyone give the demo a go just to see how not to make a video game. All right, I'm done.
That's your YouTube video, Bryan. Balan Wonderland, how not to make a video game.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think I've heard anyone say anything nice about this game. It's just like all the people that this is aimed at are just rejecting it.
Bryan,
because
you don't get it. It's Yuji Naka.
He already had his chance with Rodeo Sky Soldier. Nobody bought that fucking thing. Okay, Rodeo Sky Soldier was a game that was supposed to come out on the Wii. It missed the Wii. So instead it released on the Wii U, but they felt so bad it came bundled with a Wii disc of the exact same game. That's not how you do stuff.
Hey, he also made that game where you put the Wii controller on a plastic box and you tap the box.
Why would you
Yuji Naka's a fucking genius.
No, he was a genius. Just like Miyamoto was a genius. They're all old hacks now. And they're just like wheeled out for fucking E3 and they introduce something they didn't make. And then the stuff they do make is shite.
At least Hideo Kojima's still got it.
They're all dinosaurs. Oh, just let the next generation fucking helm these big things.
Niamh, who's your favorite man over 40 who makes video games?
Probably Kojima,
Oh,
gotta
no.
say. He's my favorite.
Not David Cage, no?
Ooh, I'll always get a David Cage or a Kojima game day one.
Niamh, you are such a puzzle.
You don't.
I love not liking things.
How about you, John?
Cliffy B.
What's that guy up to? Oh, no.
Oh, Cliffy B or Randy Pitchford.
Okay, for me, actually, it's the guy who made...
I'm trying to think of like a genuinely beloved old man who makes like Todd Howard. Like,
you know, the guy who made Tetris, the people like him? We don't know.
We don't know.
Is there any information about him? Who's the guy that made Bioshock? What the fuck happened to him?
oh, he did an unsuccessful Kickstarter for a game that was not Bioshock, and then I think he went and wrote the script to Logan's Run.
Cool. Ken Levine, that's his name.
Ken Levine,
A
yeah.
really important person now.
I mean, no one hates Ken Levine.
No, but that's because maybe he got out while he was lucky.
Yeah, stop tweeting at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Good going, man.
Yeah. Way to go, everybody. Okay, real quick. I've been playing a bit more Omori.
Is it good yet?
Is it growing on you? Maybe?
That's a no. That's a long no.
I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it.
Apprehensively positive.
Yeah, because everyone's just like, no, John, it's bad at the start, but then it just like blows your mind wide open. I've seen all these comments. Everyone's true believer that you'll come around on Omori.
I might.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I might. Okay, so this is a weird game because I think I really thought it was something and it's not that thing. It's something else. Because recently I was like, I've been playing this for a couple hours now and I don't feel like we're like winding down. This game on time to beat is 22 hours long.
Oh, no.
That's big.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Why is this
I thought it
game
was
not
going to be
5?
like 8.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like 5
I thought it was
or
going to be
6
like
hours.
6, 8 at the most, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's 22 hours to beat the main story. And I'm like, okay.
It's too long.
I do think 22 hours is too long because I'm an adult and I have responsibilities. But then about, I don't know, like 3 or 4 hours in, you get to this point and like the nature of reality in that world shifts and the story becomes very different. And I am digging more what the story is now. It's kind of similar, the same or similar characters in a very different setting and style. And that was my first moment of being like, okay, this isn't nothing. You know, like there's something here. They've started doing some kind of interesting stuff with like the battle system and kind of how that relates to kind of who some of these characters are, which I appreciate. I don't think it's completely successful, and I'd say so far nearly everything about this game except like maybe just the visual aesthetic I don't think is like completely successful. I think I'm having 2 problems with it. One, it's buggy as shit.
Yes.
Like just constant immersion breaking bugs. It's never crashed, but you know, it is a game that is selling you on its vibe, and that is difficult. And then I just don't think the dialogue is very well written. There's a lot of like dialogue tropes in there. I know we kind of talked about tropes recently, and it's kind of like, you know, tropes don't always need to be a bad thing. In dialogue, I think tropes can be a really bad thing because it doesn't feel, because if there's too much of them, it doesn't feel like a character speaking. It just feels like someone writing things that already exist, you know? And I am having that issue there. I don't think the battles are super engaging, but there is something about this game that is not letting me leave. You know, it does kind of have me, and I want to see where it goes. And some of the stuff like it's doing with mental health, I don't see anything particularly interesting the story is saying about mental health. I think some of the visual representations are very interesting. So yeah, I think I'm in this, and I am going to see it through to the end. I don't know when it's going to be, but when I finish it is going to be the next time I talk about it on this podcast, because I'm not interested in being ambiguous about a game 3 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Take your time with it. You can talk about it in the autumn if you want.
Maybe it will completely change. Like 22 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
And like it hasn't been slow. Like things are happening and things are progressing in some interesting ways, and it has done some stuff where it's like, okay, I think I'm a little more invested in these characters than I used to be. It's just not, I'm not like dying to play it either. It's also, I'm playing it on PC, and I fucking hate playing shit on PC.
It's so tedious.
Yeah.
There's too many menus and too many calibrations, and
yeah.
It's not your main line.
I know people are very passionate about playing stuff on the PC. I spend 11 hours a day sitting at my PC. I don't want to spend 12, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're waiting for it to come out on Switch, I would, because I think they'll also have a lot of the bugs. That screen cropping shit still isn't finished.
It's too narrow. Like it's the border is way too big.
I'm starting to think, like, is that an artistic choice?
Because the pixel art's so nice, it should be
beautiful,
blasted up.
but the pixel art's also tiny, like really tiny little characters.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
it looks really scratchy.
Blow them up and shit, because like the environments are really beautifully decorated as well. Like they're really simple, but they're lovely. And like you really have to get close to that screen to see a lot of that stuff. And I'm hoping all they gotta do is just fucking blow it up a little bit. I don't give a shit if it's not the right resolution. Just blow it up.
Yeah,
I'll keep playing it. If people think I'm going to love this game, I think they should temper their expectations. Unless it's the most insane shit in the world, I think the best case outcome here is that I really like it, and I don't want another Yakuza 7 situation.
John, you're going to love it. Stay positive.
Okay, everyone, I'm just saying, Yakuza 7, the disc is out of the PlayStation. It's in my forbidden closet. It's over. It's over.
It's proudly collecting dust.
It's done. Niamh, you played Desperados 3.
I have. I have not much to say about this because I don't really know how to talk about real-time tactics games. I haven't played a lot of them.
Just use your feelings and like paint a picture.
Okay.
Well, I guess most of them are military games, but this one isn't.
This is a Western. So this is a top-down, painting with my feelings, cowboy game.
Perfect.
Where you're a little plastic cowboy who needs to kill a lot of people.
Of course.
And that's what you do. The first mission is like, it really has some like, you know, western location. So the first mission is a old steam train that's like there's rocks blocking the tunnel, and you gotta blow them up with some old-fashioned dynamite.
They're trying to rob their train.
They're trying to rob the train, and you're
Those damn Barnaby boys and old man Barnaby, they got themselves an old stagecoach heist.
Literally dialogue from the game.
Wow.
You play as kind of like an everyman cowboy, your generic main character. And
Jim Manson.
literally
Cooper.
Yes,
I think his
John
name is actually
Cooper is
John
his name.
My name is John Cooper.
I'm a human.
I have legs and arms.
And he has the basic legs and arms abilities, so he can like shoot 2 guns, so you get 2 kills, but like that will cause noise and you will bring more bad guys to you. But you also have a throwing knife, which is a silent kill, but you have to collect your knife. He also has a coin that you can flip, which will distract people, or if someone's walking behind a horse, if you hit that horse with a coin, the horse might buck and knock that guy
Kicks their
out.
fucking face right in. Just like
Right
just like Don Draper's dad.
And there is 4 other characters as well. There is a big burly Mexican guy who has a bear trap called Bianca, and he likes to get drunk and leave his bear trap down, and he can whistle and then people will walk into the bear trap. But quite like Cooper's knife, he needs to collect his bear trap, but his whistle will bring people right into it. So he's great. There's a female character in it. Her moves are very gendered, gotta say. One of them is to flirt.
Does she like show her leg?
No, but it does start off with a kind of like a sham wedding, so she's in a wedding dress, like, you know.
But that's what women did. They got married.
Pretty much. So it's like a lot of cowboy kind of Western cliches that are in there, but like they make it work, and she's a fun character. Like her other thing is that she can throw perfume bottles, which will like create a gas
And Niamh,
cloud.
I have seen you throw perfume bottles in fights.
It's true. I keep them
So many perfume
on me
bottles.
at all times.
She smells great.
There is an old man who cannot climb vines because he's too elderly to do so.
He's the doctor, right?
He's the doctor, yes. But he has a sniper rifle.
What's his name? Dr. Oh, it's such a cowboy name, whatever it was.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Or like Dr. Boomstick or something.
More boring. Like more generic.
Dr. Smith.
But he is a bag that you throw out, and if people look in the bag, it will be a poisonous gas that will knock them out, giving you a chance to kill them. Because that's the goal. You got to clear a map and do some...
So they all have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, they all have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, and you're dramatically outmatched, so you
Yeah.
gotta be clever.
Is this a bit like, I guess, not visually, but in terms of gameplay, is it somewhere between like Hotline Miami and Hades?
I would say Hotline Miami and like an XCOM.
Okay, yeah.
You can...
I'm just thinking about Hades because you've got that spell cast that you need to pick up again.
It's like Hades is like an action game. This is not turn-based, but it's like not an action game.
Yeah, it's slow. Like,
All right.
Like, it took me 40 minutes to do one map, and then at the end it was just like, you could see just challenges, and the map was like, do it in 5. And I was like, ugh, no, it's going to take me 40 minutes to do these maps at least,
That's
guys.
probably for crazy people who've just learned it off.
Yeah, exactly. But like, there's a lot of opportunity to kind of mix it up and play it your own way and use these characters how you would like to. And, you know, you can fulfill, like, you'll hear people in the town talking, like, there was this drunk cowgirl who you needed to kill. So we figured she liked her whiskey, so you could maybe poison the whiskey. Or you could just shoot her. Like, whatever's faster.
Yeah, but you could do like Hitman and
Exactly.
have a bit of flair to it.
Hitman is not an unreasonable comparison.
Yeah. I don't know if it's doing anything in this genre particularly good or bad. I'm enjoying it. It's an unusual game for me to play, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's like kind of slow, methodical, work your way through a map, kind of you don't want anyone to see you. It really encourages saving and restarting. Like, if you go longer than a minute without saving, it will say last save a minute ago. So it's constantly asking you to save, and if you fuck up, then like to
I
reload.
really liked that because I feel like so often quick save is a kind of mechanic that gets put into games that like people don't think about how it can break the game, and it's nice to see a game that really is like, takes the fact that you can quick save into account and kind of
Yeah, it just does it.
makes it work.
It button maps them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm playing it on the Xbox, and like one of your little buttons is to save and the other is to load it. And it'll do the first quick save you did.
So it's a very cautious game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's a mechanic as well where you basically kind of go into like slow motion but like nothing moving, and you can map out all the actions of your different party and then begin time and just let it play out. And I didn't get to I played a little bit off Niamh's recommendation, and I didn't get to play around with it that much, but I was like, there's a lot of potential here. Like this, I kind of talked about Spelunky a lot, about like how there's nearly like a chemistry to that game and the way all the different elements react to each other. Completely different genre, but this seems like a really similar kind of thing. And I also think the presentation was really cool.
Yeah, it's super cute.
All the animations felt good and crunchy and like impactful, even though they're just like little toy men on screen, basically. I got a lot on my plate game-wise at the moment, so I don't know if I'd spend more time with it right now, but it seems awesome.
If you have Game Pass, it's free on Game Pass. And if you don't have Game Pass and you are playing on the PlayStation, the demo lets you do the first 2 missions for free. And those first 2 missions can take you anywhere between, like, I'd say 40 minutes to 2.5 hours to complete. So, like, you know, that's a big chunk of game for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Bryan.
Yeah.
Tell us what you got.
All right. I played MegaMan 7. I've never played MegaMan 7, but I've always wanted to. This is an odd and unusual game in the MegaMan history. So the first 6 MegaMan games were on the NES or the Famicom, and they had the same sprite art throughout. The 7th MegaMan is on the Super Nintendo, and it has a 16-bit sprite palette, and it was made in between the 2nd and 3rd Mega Man X series, which was the reboot of Mega Man.
That's so weird.
And so this is a really odd and unusual game.
I didn't know this game existed.
Exactly. I didn't know. Well, like, I'd seen it, and it's one of those games I've been meaning to play for ages.
I think I just thought it was a Mega Man X game.
Same. But I guess the Mega Man X games, you play as X, and he's a completely different design to Mega Man.
Not Mega Man.
No, he's not Mega Man at all. And like,
Is that the sexy one with red hair?
No, that's his boyfriend.
That's yeah.
I think you're thinking of maybe Rockman.
Sure.
He's got blonde hair, but he wears a lot of red.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But Mega Man in this is the original Mega Man character, and this takes place 6 months after Mega Man 6. And Dr. Wily's up to no good again.
Oh, God damn it.
And it's the usual, you've got 8 levels with a boss at each, at the end of each one, and then you take on Dr. Wily. But this game looks amazing and sounds amazing. Holy shit, the soundtrack in this game is so good. It is the most cruel and unfair game I've ever played. And I've had to play a ROM of it with save states. And it's the only way you can play this busted ass, like... So this game has moments where, like, you as Mega Man have to fall down, like, a pit down multiple screens. And the way Mega Man works is that he can take a few hits from lasers and beams and stuff, but if he touches a spike, he just instantly dies. Which doesn't make any sense. But there's a bit where you have to fall down multiple pits, and then the spikes start forming parallel to you, and you have to kind of, like, funnel your way down these spikes without grazing off them.
I know, yeah.
And the only way to, like, survive this is to die multiple times and learn it off, unless you've save states.
So I was thinking about this stuff recently because, like, there's so many games I love from, like, the Super Nintendo era, and I'm like, I'm not going to use, like, save states, I'm just going to do it. And then you hit something like this and you're like, fuck this, like, what am I meant to do? How did I do this when I was little? Like, have I gotten really bad at games? And the answer is yes, but the answer is also, when you were little, you had like 8 or 9 hours free a day, and you would play up to that point, and then you would die, and you would just do it again and again. And I also think, I bet your performance was sharpened because you knew that you were never going to get by this bit unless you learned it.
Yep. What else could you do?
Nope, there's nothing.
I was reading up a bit on the background of this game. It had one playtester.
Huh.
And I bet that playtester was very good.
I bet he tried his best.
Yeah, so I bet he just, like, fucking breezed through the levels because he probably also designed them and was like, these are fine, ship the game. Another interesting bit about the development of this game is it was made in 3 months. 3 fucking months. And developers Keiji Inafune and the gang were real proud of it at the time, but have since realized that there's a lot of tiny little things they could have fixed on it. I think with save states, this game is possible to play and not feel frustrated on. And I think that's satisfying just because the sprite art of like the enemies and some of your friends and the gang and the world, everything looks so nice and polished, and the pixel art's age real well. It doesn't look janky and old like 90s pixel art sometimes does. There's something really timeless about the visuals, and it's great to complete the game because a lot of the cutscenes, a lot of the dialogue in this game is super fun and cute and charming.
Brian, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does MegaMan kill Dr. Wily?
He doesn't.
Okay, because Brian posted an Instagram story. And it was like MegaMan pointing his gun at Dr. Wily and being like, "I'm going to kill you, Wily."
Well, see what happens is Wily goes, "You can't kill me, you're a robot," and then MegaMan like does some Nier Automata shit where he's like, "I am more than just a robot," and he starts charging up the beam. So then what happens is bass and treble, who are kind of like the like counterpart.
Bass is like he's like the Shadow the Hedgehog of the MegaMan universe.
Oh yes, he is. He rescues Wily because Bass was created by Wily, and then MegaMan walks out of Wily's lab with the explosion going on in the background, and he doesn't turn back to look at it. And this game was made in '95.
So on Brian's Instagram stories, he just posted the picture where MegaMan's like, "I'm gonna kill you, Wily," and the next picture he posted was MegaMan walking away.
I just think that's a better story.
It is, no argument.
So next I'm gonna play MegaMan and Bass. This is a SNES game that only came out in Japan, and it came out in 1998. That's when Banjo-Kazooie came out.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, they should have stopped making SNES games by then, but they didn't, and I'm going to play it. And apparently it's busted as fuck, and I can't wait.
Cool. Niamh.
Yes.
You got a PSP PSA.
Yes, I do.
What happened?
I bought Valkyria Profile Lenneth to play on my PSP because I've heard really good things about it, and I just wanted to use my PSP because I really like that console. My game arrived, went to put it in my PSP, and I noticed the back of it was no longer flush. I pulled out the battery, and the battery had completely swollen.
Oh no.
So my battery just dead. So I had to order a new battery. I know I can play this emulated, but I don't want to. I want to play it on my PSP.
Playing handheld games is great.
My PSA is to go check your PSP if you haven't, because it's just a thing that happens with age. My battery hadn't gotten to the stage where it had leaked, so it hadn't damaged the console. But the next step after it bloats is for it to crack open and leak. So check your PSPs.
Let's Fight a Boss podcast. Literally saving lives.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday I'll get to talk to you about Valkyria Profile Lenneth. Either of you play it?
No,
it's the kind of thing like with those games, but
every 8 years someone says it to me at a party. I go to some pretty shitty parties.
I'll be that person at the shitty party telling you about it soon enough.
You guys like PSP games?
You guys play some Valkyrie Profile?
You guys like batteries? You like doing batteries?
That hasn't been Niamh talking for like the last 20 seconds. That was all me and Brian.
You feel that charge?
Guys, I played Haven, not to be confused with the PlayStation 2 game also called Haven, that was set to redefine the world of gaming with its introduction of a new genre.
I know this game.
Yeah, the little guy with his like red dreadlocks and his little face that's kind of like...
John's doing like a goblin face.
Yeah. No, this is Haven from the Game Bakers. And you guys might know the Game Bakers.
The Bakers?
The Game Bakers.
Not makers.
No. Bakers.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just making sure we know what we're talking about.
This is not the Game Makers. Someone should really... That's a good name for a studio, because I feel like if I heard that name, I'd be like, oh shit, they're here.
They're physically in my apartment.
The actual people who make games have finally arrived. Like, none of this fucking around. But no, this is from Game Bakers, and they're the same guys who did Fury. What was that face, Niamh?
I just know everything about the story of this game.
I bet you don't.
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's kind of been an issue in the LGBT community. Never mind, keep going.
Okay, I had a feeling there would be stuff. I'm kind of curious to hear this. What is it?
I know it's about a straight couple who cannot be together because of the evil doings of a lesbian.
Oh, no.
Niamh, what did you do?
I don't know.
Okay, because right now, for me, it's just a boy and a girl in a spaceship. There's no lesbian queen yet.
She'll come around and she'll ruin everyone's fun.
Okay, well, that's disappointing to hear, because I am having a nice time with this one.
Hey, maybe it is. Maybe you'll love it.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't love it when people are like, gay people are evil. So it's not one of my favorite things that
I think it's weird
of
to do kind of an allegory kind of story about kind of not being able to be together, because it's kind of this world where you kind of have a prescribed partner, and then this couple falls in love outside of that. And I think it's weird to put the person in charge of that world to make them a gay person. It's like
we haven't,
weird optics.
We have not touched on any. Well, like we touched on the first part, but like whoever this lesbian character is, she hasn't, like, the only characters in it right now are just the guy and the girl.
Yeah, it's a really strange rule of her to make.
Yeah.
Well,
I think she might be enforcing it, but yeah.
God fucking damn it. Oh, people. There's been so much shit I've found recently where it's like, I really like this. And then I get to episode fucking 4 and there's like a naked child and I'm like, oh, no.
No more episodes for you, John.
Yeah, fucking God. Jobless Reincarnation was really good for like 3 episodes. Fucking ruined my favorite thing script. Anyway. I'm going to keep going with this game. I'm going to comment on that. For the moment, I'm just going to go off the stuff I've seen. And that is basically, I guess what I liked about this game was that it is from the guys who did Fury, a notoriously difficult game. Fury was a boss rush game, heavily influenced by stuff like Afro Samurai, and I loved it. It's totally the kind of game a lot of people just are not going to have the enthusiasm for this kind of game. It's
a real John game.
It's a real John game. It's get your head kicked in 100 times and then feel a little better when you actually win. And this game is not like that at all. In fact, in the opening text, they say this is not a challenging game. And I was like, oh, that's strange. And what it is like this super laid back, explore 'em up kind of game. You are this guy and this girl, and you crash land on this planet. It's basically ToeJam and Earl if they were fucking. You have to, maybe they were actually. I'm not gonna make that assumption, but you basically have to explore the planet and interact with its different kind of terrain and its animals, and you have to find it's a lot of just exploring these kind of different island, and it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's engaging enough that it's kind of fun because you have these glide boots and you glide all over these different landscapes, collecting rust and stuff like that. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of the game, but the heart of it is the interaction between this guy and this girl, you and Kai. Those are definitely my favorite parts of the game, but that's not to say I think they're all good. I think some of the dialogue tries very hard to be cutesy and fails. I think the first conversation they have particularly is just kind of I heard it and I was like, well, I have wasted €24, you know?
Oh no.
Yeah, there's some line where it's wow, this is awesome. Your butt's awesome. And I was like, well, fuck it. Why did we even try? Why do I play shit that I don't know is good? This was a mistake. But to be honest with you, there is... The way they're written, I'd say there's as many hits as there is misses, you know? There is stuff in game... Okay. This is an over 18s podcast, okay? And we can talk about stuff sometimes. We can talk about some real shit. There is one point where they have a very normal conversation about semen, and it is genuinely the kind of conversation that happens in the bedroom if you have been with someone long enough that you're just used to each other's bodies and each other's bodies' habits. And I was like, wow, I haven't experienced this in a game before. This is fucking new. And I genuinely appreciate it because, it is this couple and they just have a healthy, good sex life, and they like being around each other, and they get on each other's nerves in some pretty convincing ways, and they're close in some pretty convincing ways. And I really like the girl. I don't like the guy, but I understand why they're together, and I understand what they get out of each other, and that's the part of the game that's kind of keeping me invested. The girls, I think, I really like the voice performance on the girl. The guy is less so. He's a little bit like, whoa, you know, that kind of voice acting.
Oh yeah.
And also his dialogue is constantly clipping.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a pity.
it's really weird. I have had some sound issues with it. Like there's parts where like the music kept cutting out and cutting back in. I've also had a hard crash. Yeah,
Are you playing this on PS4?
Switch.
Okay.
I don't know if the issues are with PS4 as well, but
For me, the Switch is the console that crashes the most with games.
I could see that. I mean, it's the least powerful by a mile, so
Yeah.
maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm enjoying this game. Like, I like it. So far, all I've experienced is this guy and the girl. Like, if there's this overarching, like, the evil lesbian is here, that's bad. But I guess I will get to that and see, because I want to keep going with it. Hard one to recommend as well. I think you would both hate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, sounds great.
So that's a positive message for us.
It's a positive podcast. But yeah, I'm gonna, like, I have enjoyed my time with it, but I guess, like, in light of what Niamh was saying, I have no choice but to give it, like, a kind of shaky,
Well, like, those are the criticisms brought from, like, you know, like, LGBT gamers, and, you know, I listen to them, but, like, other people like this game, and if you want to like it, you can like your shitty weird semen game.
Thank you, Niamh. Well, I don't know, like, as much shit as I give you on this podcast, Niamh, I don't like to support media that I feel actively makes your life worse.
I don't think it does. I just think it's a weird, you know what I mean? It's just a read, and the read is, that's a bad decision. Someone who should have probably told you to make a different villain.
It feels like a really goofy double standard that
Yeah.
could have been addressed earlier on.
Yeah.
Do you not see the hypocrisy in this?
Yeah. Like, I guess in a way as well, I don't need to... What I feel like I'm getting out of this game, I don't need to be told an epic tale of these two lovers split apart and brought back together. I just want my weird cum spaceship adventure.
Hey, people like cum. It's an over 18s podcast.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Can I talk about my last game?
Yeah.
Thank God he said game.
Magical Poppin. This fucking game. It's the most Bryan-ass fucking game.
So I've been looking at this all week and being like, is it meant to say Poppin Twinbee?
What?
Oh, we'll get to Poppin Twinbee later this year.
Okay.
For now, we're talking about Magical Poppin. This is a SNES game as well that also came out in 1995, and it takes about 1 or 2 hours to complete. And it is a platformer in which you play as a magical princess who is aspiring to be, I guess, a wizard or warlock. She's not a witch. I know that for sure. She's called Poppin, but she's got magical powers. And look at that art.
That's very cute.
The artwork for the game cover was done by one of the founders of Gainax.
Huh.
And this game is really unusual. It was printed... It only came out in Japan, and I'm playing a fan translation of the ROM. And it had a limited run, and on the front of the box it had really, really cool artwork. And then on the back of the box it had some screenshots of the game, and then a big banner at the bottom that says, this game is fully voice acted, and it was voice acted by an adult video star. And they have her photo, and
You don't mean age?
I well, like an AV star.
Okay.
And it just all of that combined is something really, really special. This game, to buy physically, the loose cartridge of it costs at least €500.
Wow.
To buy it fully boxed in mint condition, we're talking €2,000 to €300.
Holy shit.
I'm very glad I got to play this though.
That's like Panzer Dragoon Sagas.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of those elusive games that just has faded into obscurity and now is worth a lot. So the way this works is it's a side-scrolling platformer, but the levels are incredibly long. But I think there's only like 7 or 8 levels in total. But the levels are kind of like Metroidvanias in that you go left to right or right to left, but you can also go up and down, and there's multiple routes to get to your exit. And the game encourages you to explore because you get health boosts that give you more hearts. and you also find weapon enhancements that allow you to cross later parts of the level that you couldn't have crossed before. And so it's this kind of fun mixture of a light Metroidvania meets a kind of more detailed 2D platformer.
Oh, Brian, sorry. You remember you were trying to come up with a new name for Metroidvania?
I was saying search action.
I came up with a better name.
What?
Corner Scratchers.
Corner Scratchers. That sounds kind of creepy.
That's shit.
No, what are you talking about? It's really good because you're going through the map.
You like scratching that
I
corn.
say that about so many games. The Last of Us 2 was a corner scratcher.
Yeah, it is. It's a very flexible term. So it's like...
So almost like a video game.
It's you're going through the map and you're going to each corner and like... You didn't like... Neither of you liked Try and Die when I pitched that first and you both use that now.
Better.
I think Try and Die is good, but that's more for a roguelike, I think.
It is a roguelike. This
game...
sorry. Try and Dies used to be called roguelikes. People might not know that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a corner scratcher game, as you were saying.
I like search action.
I don't know what that means.
It makes it sound way more enticing than it actually is.
What's the voice acting like?
Her voice is way too deep for the character she's playing.
And like, is it full lines or is it just like...
What was the decision?
She'll like get like an upgrade, and you can obviously tell the voice acting is taking up a large part of the SNES chip, but it's really like clippy, so it's like... And you're like, I think she said lucky? I don't know. But like, this game has its charms. It's kind of goofy, but I love it.
Bryan, I'm just trying to put this together. You said it's an AV actor. Is that like a Gravore actor?
Yeah. I don't know if she's done anything harder than that.
Okay.
She is no longer with us. I guess I'm just
trying to like
she passed away a couple of years ago.
That's very sad. I guess I'm just trying to get to the logic of why. Because this does not look
because she was clearly someone's favorite star.
This game is aimed like this game is made by otakus for otakus.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a Venn diagram in there where a bunch of guys worship this particular actress.
Someone realized there was a way that they could be in the same room as her.
If she recorded her lines for half an hour for a fucking little cutie game.
Okay, well, I hope that worked out for them.
Though this game is great. It looks great, sounds great. It's really pushing the hardware to its limit. A couple points the game really shits the bed in terms of frame rate and speed because there's too much going on visually. I love when that happens in a SNES game because you're like, oh no, it's trying to cross over to the next gen.
It feels good.
Yeah, it's like it's trying to be like PlayStation N64, but it's struggling.
It's bumping up against the limits of its reality.
Yeah, because like, do you remember in the early 90s when they were like, this is the pinnacle of games. Like, it's never going to get any better than this. And then when it is, it's like...
Do you guys remember a point where you were like, this is as good as it's going to get, like, we're never going to get past this?
Like a game that you played that you were like, oh my god.
Yeah, like this is,
we're here.
We're here.
So for me, it was, I was with my dad in Game, the game shop that's now long gone. But they were, I think it was the Dreamcast, they were just demoing some tennis game, but my dad thought it was an actual tennis match.
I could see that though, like those Virtua Tennis games, the animation were so convincing.
And like from far away.
It's just far enough away that you can't, so I get that.
Yeah, so he was looking at it, he was studying it, and then he realized it was a game.
I remember seeing Tekken 3 for the first time, and I was just like, it's just like real people.
Okay, so that was for me with WWF SmackDown for the PlayStation 1, the first one. Everyone go back and look at that footage. Just go look it up. And little John looking at that and being like, it's like I'm there.
I think I remember you telling me before, and you said if their health bars weren't up in the top corners of the screens, I would believe that's real.
I read that I said that in a room full of boys, and they all went, whoa.
My boys are really stupid.
Oh man, that group of boys, there were some fucking, maybe stories for a different time.
Probably not for this podcast either. There's some saucy things.
Yeah, some of them are okay, some of them get a little blue.
Yeah, they're too much cum.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no. I was just trying to share some honest appreciation with you guys.
Hey, stop talking about games.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Little Princess Poppins.
Poppin.
Yeah.
A fantastic game. Everybody should play this game. It's so cute. I love it. It's just brilliant. It's a great time. Big smile on my face. 100 years of Bryan.
Okay, big thumbs down there from Bryan. Moving on to our next section,
Big thumbs
Quicktime
down.
Events.
That goes all the way down through the planet's core and comes up as a thumbs up in Australia because it's fucking brilliant. Quicktime Events. This is the video game news section. We don't like doing this bit.
No,
we got to do
We
it.
had a talk that we're going to shorten it from now on, so look out for that.
Some breaking news right here, folks.
Yep, breaking news. Let's fight a boss. The news from 2 weeks ago. Now. Warner Brothers Games Nemesis System patent approved. Fuck every inch of this. Wow.
You mean it wasn't before, but now it's going to scare everyone off?
They were trying.
They were trying for a long time. We only found out that recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
Through the Game Maker's Toolkit.
Yeah, through the Mark Brown video, which is a really good video, and it's... But, like, how's this going to be implemented? Because the other example I could think of is the Crazy Taxi arrow, and how that's patented.
Yeah, well, that's shit.
But, like, that's so commonplace in loads of driving sims.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just... I feel like you're just at the point where you're just copyright marking fucking art, you know? And it's like... It's the biggest pile of shit. Like, and I know everyone thinks this. I know this isn't like a new or interesting take, but like, come the fuck on. And like, EA, makers of some of the most iterative bullshit, like copy-paste games ever. Come on.
So the Nemesis system.
Yep.
What are they going to do with this?
No, it's not like the second game was good.
Yeah.
Here, the Nemesis system was cool in it, though, according to that Mark Brown video, anyway.
Didn't that come out on PS Plus last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy of
have
it.
too.
Yeah, I think it's in my queue, but I don't want to waste space.
That's the shitty thing about it. It's like a really cool system trapped in a game series that was good once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Niamh, what do you got?
CD Projekt Red hacked.
Yikes.
So they put out a statement on Twitter, basically that detailed the hackers' letter that they left, but just...
That letter was really something.
It was really cheesy.
It was really old school.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, you've been hacked by either a 13-year-old or a 55-year-old.
Like, did someone travel back in time from 2004 and hack you? Is that what happened?
I read it and I was like, did CD Projekt write this? But then that wouldn't... I could understand a weird PR move to get people on its side, but it just sounds like they'd have too much to lose in this.
Yeah, they have access to everything, all their like code, all their HR files and stuff.
That's
it
oh
feels
dear.
like CD Projekt Red was getting out in front of it to be like, if you hear any terrible violations of workers' rights, it was because it was hacked out of us.
Like, the game data shit, I'm kind of like, who fucking gives a shit? I think the thing that kind of makes me a little uncomfortable with this is the HR stuff and the administrative stuff, because at that point you're talking people's addresses, people's phone numbers and stuff, and like, you know how fucking crazy people get about
People are going to get harassed.
people really want to assign blame, and people are going to find like, oh, look, this guy was a level designer on this shitty level, and they're like, I could absolutely see just regular game developers getting shit for this, and that sucks. They do not deserve that, like, at all. Like, yeah, fuck CD Projekt Red's management, but like, a lot of people worked on Cyberpunk. I'm guessing most of them were pretty cool and just wanted to make a good game, and it sucks that, you know, their personal...
So this is a
information could be
ransom.
out
So
there.
would it be better for CD Projekt Red to pay the ransom to protect their employees' details?
Like, I'm assuming that there's personal information of their employees in there. It sure sounds like it, but to be honest with you, if it's their employees' personal safety, I think you
probably
kind
the
of
right
owe
thing
that
to do.
them. And like, it's
the
shitty. I
ransomware.
get that you don't want to do this, but you know, also, you're a giant fucking company. Like, you.
They just made a mint off those pre-orders, so...
Yeah, and look, I don't know anything about this shit, and I could be completely talking out my ass, but the fact that, like, you know, one hacker or hacker group can take all your shit, like, I've heard of stuff getting hacked and leaked before, but like, the source code of a game are like one thing, not everything.
Yeah, I think just with like COVID and everything going work from home, and like there's just
Yeah,
so
there
much
was
more
probably-
vulnerabilities
Yeah, there's probably a
with
backdoor.
everything.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
For the staff.
Yeah.
Then, the last bit of news, I just wrote down Sonic. So, Sonic the Hedgehog, there's some announcements. Nothing to do with video games. at all. There's no.
Why would they make a video game about Sonic the Hedgehog?
So what we've got Sonic Prime coming to Netflix. Just there, they announced Sonic the Hedgehog the movie 2, which is coming out I think it's coming out in April 2022. So in 14 months, we get to see the new Sonic the Hedgehog
The
movie.
only thing I can think of was Sonic. Do you remember that fake poster someone did for the second Sonic movie when Sonic was still like hideous, and it was the really fucked up tails, and it just said Sonic, Sonic the movie 2, Journey to Hell.
This could be.
Niamh, can we have him in our thumbnail?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's a really good. He's a great fox. Yeah, so this movie's out in 14 months. I'm sure it won't get delayed at all. I'm sure it'll be out in 14 months. Absolutely
I still
confident.
haven't seen the Sonic movie.
You gotta watch it with me.
I think I'm still really burnt out from Sonic.
The whole world is burnt out from Sonic.
I'll watch it with you.
Years ago. And then the other announcement was that almost all the voice actors for the last couple of 3D Sonic games have left. Some of them, their contracts have ended. Some of them just parted ways without any, peacefully. I know the guy who voices Sonic at the moment, or voiced Sonic, was Roger Craig Smith. So he's left, and he was a really, really good Sonic.
Yeah, he was.
The only voice actor that's still staying around is the guy who does Eggman. But I think all the voice actors work separately to each other, so I don't think there's anything,
It could be people
there.
being like, okay, we made a shit ton of money with that Sonic movie. Let's bring in a whole new team. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that is odd.
But yeah, it seems like they're going through a big reshuffle with the Sonic identity at the moment. Not focusing on games is really weird. The fact that they're still hanging on to Robotnik is kind of weird. And the way we made our Smash predictions, why didn't any of us say Robotnik/Eggman? Because he'd be a good fit.
Sega just seems off limits sometimes.
Oh yeah. But Sonic's in it, and a lot of the third-party characters have their antagonist in it now.
Yeah, you're right.
And so
I think I could see Eggman. I could also see Knuckles or Tails.
yeah, I do think another Sega character might come into Smash, but it's none of our predictions. But oh well. Easy come, easy go, just like Sonic.
Yeah. Emails.
You guys want to do one very special email?
It's getting late. We better.
Yeah, this what happens. We're gonna do this real early, guys. We're gonna put a good grind on it. We'll get some emails out.
Yeah, and to achieve that, we'll start recording at the exact same time we always do.
Late. All right, we have an email address. Niamh, could you tell us, please?
It is askletsfightaboss@gmail.com. That's askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
That first K was a little soft, Niamh.
Yeah, you don't want to make sure nobody goes to that butt website.
Ask.
That's a different thing. That is for top tier patrons only. Don't ask about it.
Special place for special fans. Ask. Let's fight a boss. A Jamal.com.
Yeah,
Is that how you pronounce stuff?
Yep, definitely.
beautiful.
.com.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Words can be whatever you got.
You said it was over 18s, John. It's your fault.
I mean,
You set me up for
trying
this.
to make a point.
Made it all
but,
sticky.
Whatever.
Okay, this one is from Garrett, and it is a quickfire ranking of death. This is another quickfire one, but
Okay.
that's okay. But we take the quickfire questions nice and slow because we're old. Okay, Niamh, the Deftone albums. Let's rank them.
I can't rank them out of I don't have a memory. I need a list.
Okay. While you're doing that, John, the Final Fantasy VII party members.
Okay, coming in dead fucking last, we got Cat Sith. Following Cat Sith, we got Red 13. Ton of potential. He never does anything fucking interesting in the story. After that, we got... I mean, you know what? I replayed 7 last year, and I gotta say, I have a big love for Sid. That guy's a misogynistic piece of shit. Then you gotta go with the best dad, Barrett, and then you gotta go Aerith, then Cloud, then Tifa.
Oh, what about
Am I missing
Vincent?
anyone?
Vincent. And the little ninja girl in the tree.
Oh yeah, okay.
But they're both optional, aren't they?
Yep, they are. Okay, so that's the main cast. I would say you could stick Vincent in between Barrett and Aerith. I think I like him better than Barrett. And then Yuffie below Barrett. Below Sid.
Poor Yuffie.
Yeah.
How are you getting on, Niamh?
I don't. All these albums are really good. They're very hard to rank.
Okay, well then what's your favorite Deftones album?
Right now I'm listening to a lot of Saturday Night Wrist.
That's such a good album.
I like them all. They're all a different mood.
They are. They all do something. I like B-sides and rarities. It's cool.
Great.
Yeah.
I like
The remix album wasn't very good,
No.
which was
So maybe put that down at the bottom. But maybe in 2 years' time you're
White
like
Pony a lot.
White
It's
Pony
very good.
is really good. But
Just the House of Light changes.
okay, and then for me, and so Niamh is down as Niamh, John is down as Job, and then I'm down as B-Man, which is okay with me. And I have to rank John's facial features.
What?
So John, look at me here now. Show me your face.
do your smile. That's a grimace.
That is not a happy face. Okay, so John's facial features. Let's work our way. Okay, so from the lowest, let's cut
I don't like this.
Okay, John's ears aren't very visible, so let's just kick them off right away. They're cut. John's forehead doing nothing for me. That's cut.
He's a good forehead.
He's being. I think he's being nice.
Okay.
John's mouth, pretty interesting. If he smiles wide enough, he's missing a tooth.
I mean, it's like so far back.
Hey, I'm missing a tooth too. Niamh, are you missing any teeth?
Yeah.
We've had too many sweets.
The dentist asked me did I want to keep it, and I was like, no, it's caused me too much trouble.
It's just something that happens to you when you get to a certain age. You lose a tooth.
I think if you hit a certain age and you haven't lost a tooth, it's like, how hard were you trying?
Yeah, dude, you gotta fucking crush it. Okay, his nose is very good. He has a mark on his nose similar to Guts from Berserk, which I really appreciate. His eyes are very good. There's an intense stare. But it's gotta be number one at the very fucking top is his eyebrows. Everything about John are those fucking eyebrows. What is your fucking problem?
What does that mean?
You know what that means.
I don't. You always say that, and I never do.
So John's eyebrows are constantly egging on people to be like, go on, what have you got? Fucking bring it. And like John's trying to like do normal human friendly stuff, but his eyebrows are like, I'll fucking take you.
Yeah.
I'll burst
I
you.
do get challenged to a lot of fights.
His eyebrows settle in a brow in a very furrowed way.
I think they always look like I'm about to shout at you.
Yes. Like even now you look pissed.
Well, now I am pissed.
Yeah. John's chin, didn't think about it, so maybe it's around where the ears and the forehead are. But yeah, it's gotta be the eyebrows. I'm sure anyone who's seen John's face has honed right in on those eyebrows. Like, what's going on there? Thank you for that email.
Would you like to weigh in on this, Niamh?
That sounds like a bad journey for you.
Yeah, well, you know what? It wasn't great.
It's been a while since we've done like Bryan doing John's body.
Yeah, you've pretty eyelashes.
Thank you, Niamh.
You've lovely eyelashes. Do you know who's got even nicer eyelashes? Me.
It's true, they're very long.
Yeah. But they also
you
my
guys are
eyelash.
so mean.
No, everyone. I think all of us here have nice eyelashes. If I was going to if we went to an eyelash,
We're all missing teeth and we all have lovely eyelashes.
we'd
That's the
come
thing.
out somewhere in the middle. Like
We-
they're not bad eyelashes.
Like us combined could pass as a human. Like enough of us. If we put enough
I'm
of our
done.
traits.
I'm done. Let's wrap up this fucking podcast.
Are you sure, John?
Yep. I had something to say there. Now it's gone.
Good. Probably wasn't
Can I
important.
just do something apropos, just for no reason whatsoever? Like a lot on this podcast, I shit on Joss Whedon because I fucking hate him. Well, today there was more reasons to hate Joss Whedon.
What happened?
So Ray Fisher is the guy who plays Cyborg in
Justice League,
and he basically reported that Joss Whedon was a horrible person to work with, was abusive and was shitty, and he took his complaints higher up in Warner Brothers, I guess, but instead of dealing with Joss in any way, they fired him and took away his role in his cameo role in the Flash movie. So today, Charisma
Carpenter,
who plays
in
Cordelia.
She was in Buffy and Angel.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
She released a statement called My Truth and #I Stand With Ray Fisher, where she details just the gross abuse of power from Joss Whedon on the set of Buffy, and that was also echoed by Amber Benson, who played Tara in Buffy. So I'm a huge Buffy fan. I was for a very long time, but the older I got and the more I started to examine Joss Whedon's body of work, you see the grossness in the tropes he implies. And
there's an episode, maybe it's Angel actually, but where Cordelia is grossly over-sexualized by a really creepy director.
Yeah.
Wow, the subtext is right there.
The subtext is right there. Like, she was basically pregnant when she was filming, and he was saying horrible stuff to her about if she should keep her baby or not. Like, he's a monster. About 2017, his ex-wife of 16 years, Kai Cole, released a statement, released a whole essay, and I'll drop it as one of my loot drops, about her experience being married to Joss and the hypocrisy of what he was doing on set to people and then in their home life, and how it gave her PTSD. And that was in 2017. In 2018, he was given showrunner status on The Nevers, which is a female-fronted TV show again, because the one thing that Joss Whedon cannot... he can shake all these allegations, but he cannot shake the whole feminist director bullshit.
Yeah, he really hides in plain sight with that.
Yeah, which has just allowed him to completely use his position of power to just be an absolute scumbag to people consistently. And I think it's like... It's horrible that they've had to do it, but I think it's great that Amber Benson and Charisma Carpenter have come out in like solidarity with Ray Fisher, because Joss Whedon is just a snake. And I know he made Buffy, and we all are very connected to that nostalgia, and it was hugely important to me, but like...
And that first Avengers movie was so good.
Oh God, it's such a fucking nightmare. But like, you need to examine his work closer, and I promise you the best episodes of Buffy had nothing to do with him. And even if they did, times have changed, and he has not, and he has not matured, and he's just a gross, disgusting, creepy dude. And fuck Joss Whedon.
I think we once called him a gobshite. And
yeah, I like the fact that we've been giving him shit for years.
He's a top tier gobshite.
We've had a couple of like bouts on this podcast where we'll just shit on Joss Whedon for like 20 minutes, and people are always like, "Why do you hate Joss Whedon?"
He sucks.
I'm not gonna say it's because of this, but now it sure is.
Yeah, he's just... Dude has a track record.
The hypocrisy was always there. The hypocrisy's there. Now people are just it's a climate where people are able to talk about it.
That was all very well said, Niamh.
Yes.
I did have a moment there where you're like, I know on this podcast I shit on and I was like,
I actually thought you were gonna do like...
I was like, oh my God, it's coming.
I thought it was gonna be some sort of John gimmick, but this was way better. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do some Patreon shoutouts?
Can I pitch a movie?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Fuck him.
The last time I pitched a movie on this podcast, it was a couple of years ago, and I didn't feel like it went very well. I felt like you two weren't really responsive to the theme, and I felt like there wasn't a lot of good faith criticism around it.
It's more your casting choices.
Is this the Lena Dunham, Chris Hemsworth movie?
Yeah.
What was it called
The
again?
Missing.
They're all missing.
It was an allegory for modern technology, because even though we've never been more connected, I feel like...
Yeah, sure thing, Charlie Brooker. Go on.
I feel...
Go on. No, go on.
Okay. So this movie is about an astronaut.
Okay.
And they're in space.
I hate it.
And a lot of stuff goes wrong, and like they nearly die a bunch of times, kind of like that Sandra Bullock movie. Is that
Gravity?
Yeah. It's kind of like that. But the difference between this and Gravity is that they live. And
she lives
in Gravity.
Why are you guys spoiling Gravity? Okay. And then he gets back, the space astronaut gets back to Earth, and this is after about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And
how about 3 hours?
3 hour
movie.
Yeah, I could feel. I didn't want to say 3 hours, but if you think
fuck
it has like
3 hours long.
Yep. And the astronaut gets back to Earth and takes off their space helmet, and it's a dog. And then the title card comes up, and it says Leica.
Honestly, I'd watch that.
That's a good twist.
Yeah, that's a good twist.
I think the idea of having a title card 3 hours into your movie is really clever.
I think it'd be cool if there's like clues throughout the film, like maybe there's a bit where the astronaut's like barking at someone, and you're like, what's that about?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you wouldn't have guessed it until you connect the dots afterwards.
And the dog, played by George Clooney.
He has experience.
Yeah, he played
a dog in South Park.
Yeah,
I took that
Stan's
into
dog.
account. Yeah.
No, he's a very talented dog.
Yeah.
I like this movie. Yeah, green light.
Yeah.
Excellent. Finally,
You get your movie, John.
loot drop.
No, Patreon shoutouts.
Fuck.
Ani, please.
No. Leave it in, Oni.
Oh, that's also something we have to mention.
Yeah.
We have an editor now.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We recently... Okay, a little background. At various points throughout this podcast, it's either been Niamh or myself doing the editing. We've been doing that way for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think I did it once or twice, but then I said, please don't let me do it. I don't want to do it.
That has been apparent, Bryan. And
I
you
don't
know,
listen to podcasts.
I think me and Niamh we're at very different places now than when we started editing this podcast. I think like we both have more responsibilities with our jobs and stuff, and I think it just like it got to a point where it was like it was never like there wasn't someone to edit it, but it was like we were both just consistently had a lot on our plates, and this was really adding to it. And so the ability to get an editor like Oni has helped so much. That's Oni Dino on the Discord, I believe.
Oni Dino.
Oni Dino and Oni Dino on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, there was some audio issues the last episode, and they were a fucking champ about it. And I think we're all pretty pumped to have them on board, and they've been doing a great job. And you know, give them a shout out, let them know that the Let's Fight a Boss family has grown by one. I came up with a nickname for Oni, and it's the best thing ever, and I've been so proud of it. And you guys think it's going to be shit, but it's actually not.
What is it?
The MVP of LFAB. Right?
Yeah.
It's not,
Saves
like-
us in the edit.
yeah.
Not really a nickname, but it'll do.
Niamh?
Okay.
It's a title.
Fucking cut you.
It's a title, yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Also, remember last week we were talking about people who self-describe as himbo?
Yeah.
In his case, it's earned. And his a fucking loan, okay?
Does Oni Dino self-describe as a himbo?
In his Twitter profile. I saw it on the Discord.
You're a twink.
But look, I'm going to allow it for Oni, but anyone else, Bryan, could you describe
Okay.
what I'm doing?
He's put out the gun and he's fucking blasted a bullet.
Yeah.
Finger guns. Here we go.
Someone said Gaston was a jock, and I think to be a jock you have to be good at sports, and there's no proof that Gaston is good at sports.
He's good at hunting. Is that a sport?
Yeah, I guess so, but to me I think like you don't even have to be beefy to be a jock, you just have to be like popular because of sports.
He is popular though.
Yeah, a lot of people want to fuck Gaston.
Yeah, okay, maybe he's a jock.
I think he is a jock in relation to his cultural context.
I just haven't seen him play sport, Bryan.
I'd say he could throw a ball.
Yeah, you're right.
Gee, can we please do the Patreon shoutouts?
That's what I fucking... Okay.
We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/LFAB. If you support us on Patreon, maybe someday we could do the Shenmue 2 Let's Play.
Okay, look, I want to say something about the Patreon. I've been pretty enthusiastic about, you know, different ways for people to... I'm going to say this week, maybe people shouldn't subscribe.
Oh,
No.
that's alternative.
Not everyone's strong enough. Not everyone's brave enough. Now, like, when someone does, and we see that little name light up in the Discord, we all look at it and we're like, this person is a real ass motherfucker. We say it every single time.
That
we
person,
say you have a real ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, we do not, and we cannot.
you are not weak. That ass is strong.
Yeah, and there's a lot of strong people in that Discord. It's a good, friendly Discord. But I'm going to say, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is fucking titans of humanity like people in that Discord. And I'm not saying that people can prove that they're that strong by signing up to our Patreon.
No, I see what
that
you're
would feel
doing.
a little weird to me. You know, I'm not going to say something like that. But do I think that about everyone who's already signed up? I mean, yeah, I do.
So you think better of them?
I mean, it's a pretty strong Discord is all I'm saying.
They're very good people. I just want to say that.
Yeah, very good people.
Just lovely human shapes that support us and do nice things for each other.
Yeah.
Great bunch of lads. Anyway, we have a section called the Patreon Shoutouts.
The Patreon shoutouts.
And if you leave us a message in 2019, we'll read it out in 2021.
Yeah. And if you leave a message now, we will read it in 2024.
In the final episode.
Oh.
We promise we'll do a backlog episode because that'll be funny.
Yeah, no, we have to catch up because there's been so fucking many.
But let's just see how this year goes, and there'll probably be...
and genuinely thank you to all the people who signed up recently. We've had so many new patrons this year already, and it's fucking cool.
Yes, because usually February's like a rough time of the year, but thank you for your support. Mm-hmm. Wow. Anyway, if you say something in the Patreon shoutouts, it'll sound something like this. Niamh, do you want to take the first one?
This is from FIFA 09. Boxers or briefs? You too, Niamh, unless you don't want to.
Boxer briefs, you know, the one that's in between, because it has the support of one but the space of the other. I can't understand why
boxer briefs aren't like a standard, because like in one it's just zero support, it's just running down your fucking leg and it sucks, and then in the other it's like Jesus Christ, what is happening? Like, why would you ever put on briefs and it's like, why would anyone do this to themselves? It's bunching
and chafing, you don't want any of that.
It's fucking like rolled up into this weird just fucking thing.
It's a badly rolled sock.
It's like, what the fuck? Why do people make their little kids wear briefs? I have a little fucking kid, I'm gonna be like, here's your boxer briefs, don't ever ask if there's anything else because it's fucking shit.
Yeah, do Americans not have boxer briefs, or is it just
no?
Like
they do. They
it's
do.
Just a question.
I think for a long time they had briefs, and then they had boxers, and then at some point someone made the boxer brief. But yeah, like imagine bras had the same fucking problem. Like, it's just like, do you want this loose shit that does literally nothing, or do you want something that literally crushes your tits into your chest? It's just, it blows my fucking mind.
No, you want the balance of support.
You want the balance. You want the comfort. You want the freedom. And you want the support.
Gotta mind those little guys.
I agree.
This one is from Takoi.
It's such a delicate...
I hope I don't accidentally waste my Patreon shout out on something that doesn't matter. Us too.
Yeah.
John, you want to take this last one because it's for you?
It's from Nameless Buster.
Super iPatch Wolf fans should be called Joe Ho... Is this Joe Hooligans or Joe Holig...
Johooligans.
Johooligans.
I think it's good. there probably is a small but vocal corner of your fan base that are Johooligans.
Okay. Can I tell you guys about a sweet compliment and a really good put down I got in once recently?
You got negged real good?
Kinda. It's like, hey, you're my favorite YouTuber and my third favorite podcaster.
Oh,
that's so good.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't even be mad. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Loot drop. How long is this podcast, Bryan?
It is 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
I'm getting the delirious. It's all coming out, you know when we podcast for a long time. And
we do need to finish up soon because I have
fucking goes.
I have to give my hedgehog his dinner.
Bryan, no one cares about your fucking hedgehog.
They love that hedgehog. John, you like him, don't you?
He's all right. I feel like I've had less of your attention since he came along, and that bothers me.
You should.
Yeah.
Bothers him too. Niamh.
My loot drop is a song by Sophie featuring FK Twigs. I've just been listening to a lot of music on YouTube these days because I don't care what people think about things.
That's a good answer.
And I'm just trying to listen to more music.
I've gotten so fatigued, video essay fatigue.
Yes.
It just, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a pandemic thing, but I just can't fucking watch them right now.
There's this one guy who made a fucking video about Shonen Jump, and Jesus Christ, what are you talking out his ass?
That one was okay.
Heavily researched video. Took it a long time.
Sophie was a brilliant musician who sadly passed away the other week from really tragic circumstances. So I've just been listening to a lot of Sophie, and I love FK Twigs as well. So this is a song they did together that I don't think is on anything. It just, someone uploaded it.
It's just some collab.
Yeah, but it's really good.
That's Bryan, really sad about Sophie. I have a YouTube channel called GTV Japan, and it's a video on Parodius, which is a cute 'em up that came out in Japan and Europe, and it's just the history and legacy of that game. And I think it's like 40 minutes long, and I love this video. I love Parodius. It's a cool series. I don't know if they'll ever make another one, but there's this YouTube video about it, and that's maybe enough.
Cool. I have a 2-hour documentary also on YouTube called Fighting in the Age of Loneliness.
What? Yeah, John, what's this?
Okay, it's this basically just documentary on the weird history of MMA and what a fucking just strange sport it's always been, and how fighting is just this activity for weirdos who can't understand anything else. And I really liked it. It kind of ties like MMA into a bunch of like political stuff, like, you know, the Bush era, the Obama era, the Trump era, and like kind of how over the course of MMA, a lot of the kind of weird rough edges got kind of hewn away from it, and how that's kind of sad. And it's kind of like every other sport now, when it did just used to be this place for just fucking weird people who love beating the shit out of each other.
Now it's been invaded by bodybuilding forum people.
Yeah, and just really, I guess MMA used to be kind of a carny show in a lot of ways, and it's not that anymore, and that's kind of sad. But it's also just about fighting, and I really miss fighting a lot. And this had me kind of like, yeah, it's a really nice watch. And that's it.
Do you want to fight, John?
Like, we should have a competition, like raffle off a ticket.
To have a physical altercation.
A physical fist fight with yours truly.
Are we meant to do any other bits at the end of this podcast, or is this how it ends?
I think this is how it ends.
Are you I can't tell if you're suggesting one.
No, like, because you know the way you were going to do like an ongoing thing.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Bryan,
see, I knew.
When we're nearly 3 hours into a podcast, you gotta just say it to me, because I'll never get it myself.
I don't want to.
Well, look what we've done now. Flow fucking ruined.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, actually.
Okay. So, guys, there is one little change I'm going to make to this podcast as it's king.
So, most people aren't going to be listening to this bit, so this is a real special treat.
Everyone who listens to this podcast listens to all the way through, just like they watch all my videos all the way through, and my YouTube stats can't tell me any differently.
Okay.
I am announcing the Let's Fight a Boss Tournament of the Nameless. Okay, look. The Let's Fight a Boss game of hopes and dreams is currently Fire Emblem Three Houses Awakening. Whatever it's called, I don't care. None of us like that game.
No, we do.
And so we have all together decided to hold a tournament for the greatest game in Let's Fight a Boss history. The winner will be selected from a pool of 16 titles, some of which will be our previous Game of the Year winners, and others will be titles selected specifically by us. Every week, we will hold a round, and then move on to the next round the next week, and keep going until we have one ultimate champion. I will explain the full rules of these rounds on the next episode of the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. This is going to change everything.
You're going to love it, kids.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Do we say our goodbyes?
Bye, everyone. We love you.
Oh, fuck off. Goodbye. Are we done?